Hi, I'm Dick Johnson. This is deMars Live News. On today's top stories, Van Morrison tells people to fight the COVID-19 pseudoscience and speak the fuck up. Irish rock star Van Morrison has denounced the supposed pseudoscience around coronavirus and is attempting to rally musicians in a campaign to restore live music concerts with full capacity audiences. Fair play to you, buddy. Summer is still going for those who usually attend Electric Picnic and other similar festivals in August. Locals in Laois say there's loads of them hanging around in their shorts, t-shirts and with can in hand. Don't they know it's September already? Those who are suffering from summer end madness advised to purchase a calendar or for once use the one in their phone. That's it from deMars Live News. We'll be with you very shortly with some live interviews, performances and local Irish music.
Have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. It's a depression. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do and there's no end to it. We know the air is unfit to breathe and our food is unfit to eat. Sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value. Get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore. I want you to get up right now.
Hello. What's the crack? What's the story, everybody? Welcome to the show. Welcome to deMars Live, episode 6. We're flying through these episodes, and I absolutely love it. Twice a week, guys. We're back twice a week with this show. It's brilliant. I love to be back. We're on a roll. We're getting some brilliant guests. We're listening to some fantastic local artists. And people are tuning in. Thank God. Brilliant. Say hello when you pop in, guys. I see we have 5 already watching on YouTube, which is a lovely start. Yeah, give the video a like if you haven't already. Or you can wait to watch a little bit before you like it, of course. Do say hello when you come in. So there we go. Dave Duggan, right on the button, right on time. Brilliant, man. I'm in a disco with that intro. Yeah, that intro, I actually paid for that. And it's called Disco. Funny enough. So there you go. It all makes sense now, Dave, doesn't it? We got Nathan Mack in the chat. Hello again. Hello, man. Welcome back. I'm looking forward to having our verbal conversation today. Cannot wait. Nathan's going to be joining us as our second guest. Our first guest today is Elvis Bonesso, who is the lead guitarist and vocalist of Stone Sea. That are an amazing band that I have had the pleasure of hearing live many times. Actually, many times. So I'm looking forward to catching up with him. It has been quite a while. And Nathan Mack, of course, guys, you should know Nathan by now. I've been playing his music constantly on this show. And he's an amazing musician. Just released his latest single, Carolina, which is part of a... it's the second release of his EP, Start of Something Blue. And we already heard his first song as well, Better Off Without You. I think I've played it about 6 times on this station. I think it's absolutely fantastic. And of course, his most recent release too. So we're going to hear all about it. We're going to hear all about it today, guys. So what's the story? Anybody else in there? Do say hello when you pop in, guys. Welcome. Let me know if the sound is alright for yous. Yeah, it looks alright on my side. So yeah, of course, give me a shout. Nathan needs a good disco intro. I'm telling you, man, go to Audio Jungle and just type in disco. And there is a amazing amount of disco songs there, from corporate to festival to any kind of style you're looking for. It's great, and plus you're supporting musicians, so it's great. You throw out a couple of euros, you know, it's anything between 5 to 25 euros, and they get a little bit of bob. So it's great. I'm really enjoying doing that. So we got a little bit of music for you as well today. We're streaming exclusively on YouTube today. Actually, by the way, this is the first time we're streaming exclusively on YouTube, which makes me a little bit nervous because I'm afraid that it doesn't reach out as far as would be on Facebook. But Facebook, of course, we all know Facebook are a bunch of counts. They're a bunch of countosaurs, and I'm sick of them. I'm absolutely sick of them muting me videos, turning my videos off. They've been turning them off lately, actually, which is a load of ballsack. So YouTube's cool. YouTube are great. I'm friends with YouTube. I love Mr. YouTube. I'd shake his hand if I could. So we're going to stay here. So yeah, if you could share the video around to your own networks, that would be great, just to reach a bit more people. And hopefully our YouTubians will realize that the video is going on. So we bumped up to 8 watching now, which is fantastic, guys. Welcome. Do say hello when you pop in. We got some great local Irish music for you today, and we're going to have some conversations, and Nathan Mack is going to give us a lovely live performance as well. So yeah, you're right. Nobody uses Facebook. I mean, people still use it. I mean, I still have a community there. You know, I worked pretty hard to build a community there, only to find out that it's a load of shite. I'll say shite because I can say that word. So I need to somehow transfer the YouTube or the Facebookians to the YouTubes. We're getting there slowly. We've created over 160 subs in 2 months naturally from just doing these shows, which is brilliant. It's amazing. So YouTube, great stuff. Okay, guys, I'm going to play our first little bit of music. Oh, yeah, before I forget as well, we got the wonderful Rebecca Cappuccini with us today from Viking Promotions for her pick for the weekend. We got Niamh Regan with Hemet. And yeah, she's going to talk a little bit about it. And we're going to play one tune as well from that album. Just thought I'd mention that as well. We got two or three tracks. We're going to play 2 or 3 tracks today. So we're going to play something by dear Bertrand and Billy Kennedy, and then I'm going to pick a random track as well. Just what I've been kind of listening to lately, I suppose. One of Kozak's sort of finds, let's call it. I'm just making up shit every bleeding show. Here we go, guys. I've got to write that one down. Kozak's finds. So the first track is Dear Bertrand, And so it's a dynamic Irish alt-folk rock duo consisting of songwriters Ms. Reid Deer and Erin McVie. The band have been making and releasing music for a couple of years. Their musical influences range from Joni Mitchell, PJ Harvey, Kate Bush, Talking Heads, David Bowie, Jaco Pastorius, Tori Amos. Yeah, the list goes on. It's great. And their new song and video, Friends of Dorothy, is a heartfelt homage, am I pronouncing that right? Homage to the LGBT pioneers Sylvia Rivera and Marsha P. Johnson. And this song was released in July, so I hope you guys enjoy. First bit of music today.
On the move again. Peace officer, please. What are these trained flying monkeys? Ruby slippered revolutionaries, stand up for your civil rights out on the cold streets tonight. When there's no place like home, I'm anti-establishment. With the chaff and the short straw, they'll have us stuff for sure. Anti-M, I'm anti-establishment. They took my name and the clothes I owned. But not our souls. Couldn't see the haunted forest for the trees, regarding our gender identity and sexuality. When there's no place like home, I'm anti-establishment. Friends of Dorothy, fighting for your civil rights, out on the cruel streets tonight. For Sylvia and Marsha, life was harder than you ever know. Still a place to start where others just threw a stone. Please, release me. Peace officer, please. Train flying monkeys to the smoke and the mirrors reveal broken hearted hourglass figures. Friends of Dorothy, come out off the sidewalk and onto the street, to the sound of those legendary feet. When there's no place like home, anti-M, anti-establishment. With the chaff and the short straw, have a stuff for sure. Anti-M, I'm anti-establishment. They took my name and the clothes I owned. They broke our hearts, but not our souls. When there's no place like home, like home.
Alright, so that was Dear Bertrand with Friends of Dorothy, and that song was released back in July, and that's our first bit of music today, guys. Our next artist is Billy Kennedy, and and after spells living and playing music in London and Dublin, singer-songwriter Billy Kennedy is now based in his native Cork City in Ireland. Over the years, he was part of notable bands such as Godot in London and the Horsies in Cork. 2012 saw the release of Billy's first solo offering, This Old Life, a 10-track CD even. It was well received with 2 singles, 25 Ways and Kiss Me All Over the World, getting airplay locally and nationally. After a hiatus of a few years, Billy has released a couple of tracks starting back in 2018. And his most recent track, Giants, which was released yesterday. Fantastic. So it comes along with a YouTube video. Was it? Actually, no, it wasn't. No, sorry. It was released a little bit longer than yesterday. It was released last week. There we go. Last week. I don't know where I'm getting my information from. So this is Giants by Billy Kennedy.
They're taking bets on which one of us will go mad first. I hear the big money is on me. I believed I was truly cursed, but now I know I'm truly free. Standing on the shoulders of giants, I can see the way for sure. Never trust a man of science when he's handing you a cure. They're selling tickets for the next big thing. I'm sorry, I'll miss that one too. I'm doing time down in the cold soul mine, scraping reality from my shoes. Standing on the shoulders of giants, I can see the way is clear. Never trust a man of science when he's selling you a war. And to call me home when your arms are ready, and wrap them around my skinny soul, then lay me down where the ground is waiting, and say something nice, say something nice. finding you a cure. Standing on the shoulders of giants, I can see the way is clear. Never trust a man of science. It's only playing on your fears.
So that was Billy Kennedy with his most recent release, Giants. Kevin Laurier, welcome to the chat, buddy. Welcome to the stream. Anthony McManus, ahoy. Welcome, Anto, man. Welcome to the show. Still in mono, yo. Okay, so yeah, I've no idea how to actually change that. If it's still in mono, that's a little bit strange. If anybody has a clue how to change that from mono, if there is a notable difference in the sound, obviously, yeah, that's something we need to work on. If Anto, if you want to give me a message, maybe private message me and we can sort this out. Or Dave, if you notice any difference there, it'd be great to sort that out and get the songs out in stereo, because yeah, if it's still happening. But Billy Kennedy, that's our second piece of music today, guys. If you haven't liked the stream already, give it an now like, and if you are new and haven't subscribed yet, just click that subscribe button, guys, and there's a bell right beside that button, and you can click that too, and you'll be notified every time we go live. It's just really handy. You just get a little notification. It's not too invasive. And yeah, we're live 3 times a week now, and constantly playing local Irish music. So yeah, that's it. Let me know if the volumes are okay anyway. That would be good to know as well, guys. Cheers. Appreciate the feedback. It's all good. It's good to get all that out of the way. So, without further ado, I'm going to invite my first guest to the show. We got Elvis. Elvis in the house. Elvis is back. And he is from Stone Sea. Elvis Bonesso, lead singer and lead guitarist. And yeah, he's going to tune in now with us for a bit of a chit chat. So please welcome him to the show. Yeah, if I change my thing to stereo, my microphone doesn't work, so there's a bit of a catch-22 on that one. Elvis, how's it going, brother?
Hello. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you keeping, man? Thanks for coming on to the show.
Thanks for inviting me once again.
Yeah, it's a long time. Like, I haven't seen you in quite some time. How have you been keeping?
I'm fine, yeah. I mean, after all the quarantine was a bit hard for everyone, I suppose. All the event industry went to hell, so I'm alive.
That's one way of saying it, yeah. It's definitely gone to hell for sure. But there's some great innovative people, you know, trying to make things work, I guess. And how's your band surviving? How's Stone Sea doing?
It's fine, yeah. We actually had a tour booked in UK that was meant to be in September, but that didn't happen because of the coronavirus as well. Mm-hmm. And yeah, actually it slowed everything down, but we got many new songs that we are about to record. So I suppose by the start of next year, we might be releasing something. I hope.
Start of next year. Brilliant. Because it's been a bit of a while since you released some. So your most recent release was your fantastic EP, Mankind Maze, right? Which was released last year, end of 2019, mid 2019.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Amazing. And how was that release for you? And is there much? Have you learned much from that release? Is there a reason why you're kind of taking your time with the next one, or?
No, actually, I think things just went naturally. Like we had a lot of changes in the band with all the members and like learning until everybody learns the new songs and all. Mm-hmm. So it takes just a bit of while until people get into it. So like now we are doing all these new tunes. So yeah, we're mostly happy. Should be fine. I can't wait to show that to you. Like, did you get to see our last music video, by the way, that we just released like 2 days ago?
No, I didn't get to see it. So I guess we'll play that today.
Oh, that sounds great, yeah. I hope you
Perfect.
like it.
We have some content. That's brilliant, man. Yeah, good you mentioned that. Always cool to see. So this is obviously something you recorded over the lockdown, right?
No, that was actually before. I went to Brazil and we had this idea already. It was meant to be a collage, actually. So to put old videos of my family and a few videos of the universe. I mean, that was my main idea. But the guy that was meant to edit the video, he said that would be really hard to do it. So he started to write a script of an old man that was having dreams about his past and all. So like now in the music video, the old man is myself with a lot of makeup. And there's a lot of inserts of like the old videos of my family. So when I was in Brazil this last time, I asked all my friends to come together and all my family. So I think it's a really special song. And it was really nice to have everyone together to record this, especially now.
That's great, man.
Being away from the family. I think it's really touchy.
Well, it sounds pretty epic. I mean, if you're mixing family with the universe, I mean, we're talking big stuff, big important stuff.
Definitely, at least for me.
Well, I'm on that same level. I mean, I think it's brilliant. I'm looking forward to seeing it now. What I'll do is I'll play it at the end of our conversation. So
great, yeah.
Yeah, that's great. So tell me a little bit, man, because we run into each other now and then into venues, and obviously I've seen you play many times. And I it's always difficult to have a conversation as there's just so much going
happening.
on. Yeah, so many things, so many people, so many drinks. It's just usually it's usually me talking shite.
It's always fun anyway. Like.
Yeah, well, that's good. Yeah, no, it is. I miss it so much, of course. But I guess I'd love to know, like, what kind of got you started into music. Where did it begin for you? It's something that I've been asking a lot of musicians lately. Where it sort of started.
Oh, I suppose it started with my name being put Elvis.
That's a good place to start. Yeah.
So like my parents, they were always fans of rock and roll. My father used to play in a psychobilly band called Cães Vadios in Brazil. And it was kind of big in the 80s, by the end of the 80s, more or less. And my mom always sang so much. Like, she's a great singer. And actually in this new version of this Dream song, which is the music video, she's going to be singing by the end of it. So you're going to get the flavor of it. But nice. I suppose what actually touched me a lot was when I was 11, more or less, and I was watching MTV, and I got to see the music video of You're Right from Nirvana. I didn't know Nirvana before. I wouldn't understand the lyrics, but I think just the rage and the pain, I kind of felt connected with that somehow, and that really made me want to express myself musically, like with all the bad things that I'm feeling into something that could be good to people,
Mm-hmm. And which instrument? Obviously, you were drawn. You just got an acoustic guitar eventually. What age would you have been when you started playing?
I was 11. Yeah, was close to more or less the same time. I started to have some acoustic guitar lessons with my teacher, and he was like really good. I just had it for 2 years, but that was enough to give me the whole idea of a musical experience. Mm-hmm. I mean, obviously, then I went to do like some piano lessons, vocal lessons, and music theory lessons as well. So I think it was a mix of a lot of things, yeah.
Good man doing the music theory as well. Not many people go for that one at a young age.
Yeah, true. But I mean, my grandmother was always saying to us to actually do it because it's important. She was saying that to us. But I always liked it too, to understand why like these or like that will bring a certain type of feeling, or like there's a mathematic behind the music,
Mm-hmm.
But it's also important, like if you don't know about it, you kind of get a bit more free to compose in a certain way, because you don't get too into just doing the same kind of stuff, Sometimes I find myself like doing the same licks over and over again, like that might be a bit boring, So I always try to do something a bit out of the box as well.
Yeah, I guess there is that sort of division between, and it meets obviously in the middle, but there is that sort of logical, theoretical side to music, and then there is that sort of free, creative, and artistic side where they both, can meet in the middle,
exactly.
very pleasantly.
to join together the emotion and the rational part of it. I think that's where you reach the most of yourself, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Bruce Lee would say that, you know.
Well, where do you see yourself? Do you see it kind of in the middle because of your early theoretical sort of upbringing? Do you find yourself in the middle between creativity and sort of the logic understanding of music?
Yeah, I'd say so. I'd say right in the middle, to be honest, because I think both things are important to grow and to do the best of what you can, you know. Like a few friends of mine, they were saying that they don't like fast solos because it's just like a lot of shredding, you know. And I understand that thing, but I think if the fast solos are with a lot of emotion as well, that could be really beautiful to hear as well, you know. So I don't know. I think I'm in between. Like I like to listen to things beautifully created, but with a lot of feeling into it.
Yeah, and there can be a slow, powerful solo or a fast, powerful solo. It's never about speed or anything. It's just about being connected to the music you're playing, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's just expression of human being, I'd say.
That's interesting. And do you find like your Brazilian upbringing as well sort of influenced anything musical in you?
Yeah, somehow I would say like a lot of Brazilians, they're really connected with drumming style and a lot of percussion. So I think that inside our heads, like really deep into the unconsciousness, there's a lot of different rhythms that we like to, I don't know, we kind of, I don't know, maybe it's our culture, you know, we listen to different rhythms since we are young. So especially in São Paulo, there's like a lot of different cultures. So I think everything gets mixed together somehow, you know. I don't know, maybe that's why I like to mix a lot of different styles into this stoner rock, Black Sabbath vibe, you know.
Yeah, it's interesting because I mean, if you're exposed to it, your brain is basically developing itself around what it hears, what it feels, what it sees. So audibly, I'm sure there is a connection. I'm sure there's scientific studies, or I'm just talking absolute shite. But I'd like to
Oh, I don't
believe.
think so. I think that's true.
Yeah.
I like to believe that too. I think our consciousness is always working. Doesn't matter if you're paying attention to things or not, but it's just there in the background. So I don't know.
Especially
I
as a
believe
kid,
in
I
what you're
guess.
saying. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I believe it. I'm trying to be the guy on the fence here, you know, not come across with any strong beliefs, as a good presenter should be. You know, I've been practicing. I've been
Exactly. You're doing really well.
Oh, it's all yeah, it's all the studio we're in, you know. I don't know if you can see we're in a lovely studio. You're sitting on the couch here. You'll see it after the video, I'm sure. So yeah, so fast forwarding onwards, I guess. So when did you move to Ireland, and maybe tell us a little bit about the transition, because it's really interesting. You know, obviously my parents as well moved from Poland to Ireland. My dad is a musician, so he moved with music. He got a job here, and he had an opportunity back in '89, ages ago.
Oh,
So
wow.
I love to hear sort of emigration stories of people, especially musicians.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I moved to Ireland in 2016 in April. To be honest, like 3 months before, I had no idea that I was moving and that I would stay until today, because my first idea was just to stay in Ireland for a year to learn the English and learn a bit of, I don't know, different cultures, get to meet people from different places and all. But I think I ended up liking too much. I thought that 1 year wasn't good enough, that I didn't have that many experiences as I wanted to have. So I extended my visa for 8 months. And then I got my Italian passport because my family comes from Slovenia, Spain, Spain, Austria, Germany, and Italy. So it's
Wow.
crazy. And that's just the part of my mother. Like,
So that's your middle name, Suhadolnik,
so Hadonik is Slovenian.
is
Yeah.
Slovenia, of course, and Bonesso would be Italian, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Interesting. And Brazilian people love having like multiple names, don't they? It's kind of in your culture. Anna, my wife, she would have like 6 names, I think.
6 names. That's a lot, yeah. Yeah, but I think that's something common, yeah, because nobody likes to lose the surname, you know, because it's basically one root of your family. Like if I have child with someone, or with my girlfriend, for example, I think to give the name for the child or the surname, I wouldn't know which name why would I put it apart, you know, because I think they're both important in different ways. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a really nice way to see it. You know, you hear people getting into arguments about who gets whose surname in a marriage, you know, in sort of English Western sort of marriage systems, and it's just such a silly thing to be even discussing.
It
And,
is. Yeah, totally. Yeah.
yeah,
But
it's
at the
a
same
name.
time, it gets really weird if the person has like a really huge name, like somehow,
Yeah.
especially for people from outside, you know. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't want to say that your girlfriend has a weird name, but like
Yeah.
for who's not used to it, it's a bit strange to see like a name that is so big, you know.
Yeah, I mean, she doesn't use all the names all the time. It's just if she did have to, let's say, officially. I don't even know how official it is, but I found it very funny. It was a new thing I was introduced to. You know, I was like, why? Because in Ireland, obviously, we just have, you know, our middle name. We rarely even use our middle name these days, of course. And that's given to us when we're, you know, baptized. So that's, you know, that's not connected to our, you know,
The family
ancestors.
itself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's a different way. It's interesting. So back to you coming to Ireland, man. I mean, so what sort of, okay, I know you said you didn't feel like a year was enough, and can you tell me a little bit about like the development of Stone Sea then, your band? It would be lovely to hear that.
Yeah, sure. I actually started the band when I was in Brazil already, and I recorded an album by myself. I mean, there used to be other guys that used to play with me before. But before I come to Ireland, I knew that I was going to change, and I had all these songs like already in my mind that I wanted to record. So I just recorded everything by myself, and I came here to Ireland. And after this year that I spent here, that I thought it wasn't good enough, so I extended. I get to meet some people. So I met Ross in Germany, which were the guys that recorded this past album, Mankind Maze, and also Vaporizer. And it was a really great relation because I think musically we connected. You know, I think it was really strong, the connection musically. And yeah, so we started composing these songs, and yeah, I don't know. It's a bit hard to say about it.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of like a family, isn't it? Like it's part of your life, right? I can see sort of the way you sort of manage and operate this family of yours. I mean, it's brilliant. You're doing a great job, and the music you're recording and releasing is great. It's on par. And when I see you performing live, it's just, you can see that you're passionate, and that you're also like professional, man. You know, the way you come across. So it's whatever you're doing it well. I just wanted to let you know that.
I'm
And
glad to hear that, really. Thank you so much for that.
yeah, and keep the tracks coming, man. I really wanted to know about, you know, sort of the next plans. You're saying we're expecting something in January, which is great. I'm looking forward to that, or early next year anyway, right?
Hopefully, yeah.
It's a good time. I mean, look, people are going to be looking for more and more music. Where people are releasing now, but you know, it's the whole year. I don't even know if it's seasonal anymore. You know, I think it's just keep them coming.
Keep going on.
Keep
and
them
on
going.
and on.
Yeah, so I'm so happy to hear, because I wasn't sure what you guys were up to now, and we have a music video as well. So that's really cool. I'm looking forward to that. And so for last year, okay, so you released your album last year. What's been kind of like a highlight for you from last year? Because obviously, you know, we're sitting at home. We're not doing the gigs as we were. Is there any kind of gigs that sort of stood out for you, just to kind of take us back to a lovely, nice place
Actually,
for a few
the
minutes?
gig release there in Chennai that we had was really good. We got many friends around, and people were really happy. Yeah, it was like a special gig, like I say, because Connor, actually, after Ross and Jeremy left the band, I got Connor and Jonathan to play with us. So Jonathan was in the bass and Connor in the drums. He's still playing with us. And they really liked all the songs, and like it was really beautiful. We got to record the song, but I don't think that the audio quality was really good. So that's why we didn't release the whole set, you know. I still love the way it was, and I could see like people really enjoying, and like seeing all the faces super happy, and they just stumbling at each other. I don't know, it was just such a good mood. Everyone was really happy there. And we
Yeah,
also did the Irish tour a bit before. We went to Limerick as well. We got to play in the Siege of Limerick, which was a really great festival, metal festival mostly.
Amazing. Yeah, that's great. I mean, it feels like so long ago, almost like
Yeah,
thinking back
exactly.
to gigs and stuff, right? And it was only
Feels
last
like another
year.
life. Like
Oh, Jesus Christ, it's crazy.
I suppose you miss that too, you know?
Yeah, it's mad. You don't have any like, what are you doing now at the back? You're not gigging, or you're not planning any gigs? Are you just gonna wait to record first, do you reckon?
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, we're gonna work in the new songs. I mean, since we had all this time to be at home, I think it's good for people to kind of go and do like an introspection, you know, like to see everything that you've done before and see if you can create. So I think if you use this time to create, is the most perfect time, because like to create things with passion. If at least for me, I gotta be alone and I gotta be at home and like thinking by myself, how do I want this to be developed, you know? And
You
so
need
I
you
took
need the
all this
personal
time
space.
to, yeah, yeah, definitely.
I'm quite like
But,
that myself.
Yeah, you were like that too. Yeah, I was wondering because there's a lot of musicians that they like to kind of compose with each other, but I'm not too good at that. For some reason, I think I block myself when I'm talking to somebody else, you know, or trying to I don't know, develop lyrics, especially, you know. Like I can compose songs and kind of improvise, but like if I really want to go into and do something different, I feel like I have to be by myself and like be in my personal space and mindset. I don't know. That's something really personal, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of musicians would relate to that, I would say. And with regard to sort of the composition of songs, do you, how much do you come up with generally when you're writing music? Are we talking about the beat as well, the drums and things like that? Like, how much do you put in? Because I know you play lead guitar and vocals. You sing as well, so.
I suppose the songwriting, I come with most of it, like all the guitars and like how the song's gonna be developed more or less. But I always let the drums for them to create, unless I have a really strong feeling like, oh, in this part it has to be like that. I try to not to impose, but I try to insist in that idea, if that makes sense. And for the bass as well, I let them compose, unless like something comes to my mind which will be different and nice for the bass as well. But I let them free to decide what they want to do with that too, you know. But I suppose like songwriting for most of the songs we have released was mostly myself musically talking. Like Ross used to write some lyrics as well, and Jeremy will come up singing, like all the parts that he's saying, he was just like improvising in the studio. So yeah.
It's interesting. Well, of course, because you began the project. So Elvis Bonesso is essentially the founder of Stone Sea. I mean, you're basically the main guy. So you know you have to make final
technically,
decisions.
like
I mean, let's
really
not beat
don't-
around the bush here. You know,
Yeah, exactly.
who's
Like,
the
I
boss?
don't like.
No, I know it's uncomfortable for people to talk about this stuff because I know you're
Totally.
you're a
yeah.
nice guy. You're a nice guy. So no, I'm only
Yeah,
messing
like,
with you.
no, it's all right. Like I don't feel too comfortable in being in this position, but at the same time, I feel that I am like this boss, if you want to say that. But I really like people to come up with things as well. You know, I get really happy when they come with new compositions or like a riff, and I don't know, it would please myself a lot if they actually got more into do it. You know.
Yeah,
But
no,
like I say, maybe they prefer doing that together, you know, and I don't really feel too comfortable doing it together. So maybe that's why it kind of doesn't happen, if that makes sense. I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I shouldn't have used the word boss. The word is leader, essentially, you know, and leadership is very important, in my opinion, when running a project, unless there is some amazing, fluid sort of working system. But ultimately, there's still, I feel. I mean, guys, maybe this is something we can open up as a discussion in the chat, by the way, with regard to band instigation and running a successful band. What you guys think about
that
it,
too,
you know? Yeah, just to see how other people do it, because there's so many different ways you can run.
Yeah, and I suppose that's
a band.
something really personal too. I suppose for every band, there's like a different way of taking care of each situation, you know, like. So I don't know. It's just like people's way of connecting.
Absolutely. I mean, it is all relationship based, everything, you know. You need to work on how to sort of communicate, how to transfer information from yourself to another person, essentially.
Yeah,
So,
definitely. Yeah.
yeah, and what you're doing as well, of course, is transferring creativity. So something that's in your head that you have a specific way of operating. It's just very interesting, you know. And I wonder, like people, I assume people in a band, and if you're not working in the studio and you prefer to work alone, I think musicians would generally, and it's pretty common, would kind of respect, you know, they would have to respect obviously that idea, no matter how much, you know, they prefer to work together in a studio. But I'm telling you, from a drummer's perspective, it would be so convenient for me to have, you know, someone like yourself and me playing music, and then you just going, yep, I've got this written. Oh, great, fantastic. What do you have? There you go. Send an email over. You know, happy days. It's efficient. You know, so for me, as much
straightforward, I say. Yeah.
As much as I like, you know, leading in my own ways, but you know, I'm not necessarily a consistent songwriter. You know, I wouldn't do it on a consistent basis like yourself, you know. So it's interesting. So we got Michael Paschalis. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right there, buddy. Elvis is a composition machine. What do you have to say for that, man?
Appreciate the comments.
Is it true now?
I like
Is it true?
to hear that. I don't know. I mean, I try to keep productive, you know, like I don't want to just be stuck somewhere. Like sometimes I find myself, because I think my relation with the drummer, which is Connor now, is really good, because like he got to book all the gigs in UK, and I thought that was amazing. Like I didn't have to do anything, you know, like, and he connected with all the promoters there, and he was talking to everyone. So I was kind of composing the songs. But when it comes to take care of social media, myself and him, we hate to take care of social media, because I end up spending so much time, you know, like trying to make people pay attention to my project, which is something really important as well, you know. But I find myself lost there, just scrolling down for hours. And when I notice time has passed and I hadn't done anything important, and I don't know, I'm like a sponge in regarding feelings sometimes. So I see a lot of discussion for random things, and I kind of get emotionally attached to these things as well. So like it's not good to myself to be into social media, you know, but I have to be there at the same time. So
yeah, there is I totally get it. Yeah, I'd be the same. I do not enjoy necessarily scrolling through and absorbing certain pieces of information. Of course, we all have our preference, but of course, you know, especially now during these times, there's a lot more turmoil and emotion and confusion in the world. So now is a pretty rough time on social media, I have to say, but I use it primarily for work, you know, of course, you know, as I'm sure you have to as well. Now the trick is to remove it off your phone. I haven't done that myself because it's just not going to happen.
Like I tried to uninstall like Facebook from my phone, but I still keep logging into the Google Chrome and checking from there, you know, so it doesn't change.
Well, you can bookmark just your page. Just bookmark Stone C. So you just click the button. You're straight on Stone C's page.
That's a good idea.
You don't have to scroll through anything. Yeah. Make your post.
Makes it much easier, yeah.
Schedule your post. Just discipline yourself.
And out straightforward.
Yeah, every Sunday, you know, go in and schedule a post for Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, or you know, Monday or Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday morning. Whatever you see that your posts are getting the most attention, and then forget about it. Just spend 2 hours on a Sunday, maybe a little bit more, and then you can schedule, and then you forget about social media. It's great. I don't do that, but people do it, and it works for them.
I actually, just before the music video that we released, I did that for the whole week, so I didn't have to pay attention to that anymore in a certain way. But with Instagram, you have to go there and actually post it. So like somehow you're gonna get into it again and again and again.
There's a trick. My friend gave me an extension for Mozilla, or it'll work for Chrome, and you can actually just post on Instagram from your PC.
Oh, that's
so you don't have to have it on your phone anymore. Yeah, I think it's illegal, but I mean I don't know anything about this. They probably don't like it.
Does it work the same anyway? Like.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you bookmark it maybe as well, you can just do it the same way as Facebook. So you just literally get brought to a page that's, that's just shows you where to post. So you don't have to worry about accidentally doing this, obviously, which is dangerous. Fucking dangerous. Tell us a little, I'm going to put up the song. So which music video are we talking about here?
It's called Stone C Dream Song.
Great. What's tell us just quickly about Mankind Maze and sort of the philosophy or the idea behind the the concept of the EP or the album?
Okay, I think like for each song has a different energy more or less. So you could kind of take all the songs like 5 different symbols or the 5 different energies. You know, you got the fire, the water, the earth, the water. Did I say water?
The wind.
I did say water. The wind, thanks, and the spirits. So I suppose Dream Song will be the spirits regarding that. But I suppose the name Mankind Maze comes from all the humans are kind of stuck in. Ah, man, that's gonna be hard to explain. I think if you see the music video, you're gonna understand better. To be honest.
That's cool. No, that's cool. That's all good. I mean, look, each to their own interpretation, Elvis. You know, so everybody has their own perception and understanding of art, right? So everyone has their own thing. So it's no worries. I definitely have my own perception of kind of what you're getting at with regard to the title for sure, and listening through it as well, I've definitely come to my own sort of understanding. I do like the whole elements input as well, which is a little bit different from the Mankind Maze concept in my own mind. But the Stone Sea, even reading, because I read a little bit about you again just to brush up on Stone Sea, and the whole idea of stone and sea, obviously the combination of the two elements as well, right, which is quite nice, like this sort of power and strength immovable stone object, and then you have the sea, the sort of free flowing, which also can move stones. You know, a river can move stones, that's right? True, so it's pretty awesome. So no, I really like the concepts you're coming up with. I just wanted to let you know that.
I appreciate that, man. That's really nice to hear.
So listen, brother, it was great chatting to you. I'm going to finish off with this song. So it's Dream Song, and this was an official music video. You've already got 1.1 thousand views on that. So congratulations for accumulating so many views in one day. Fair play to you.
Thank you so much.
You're definitely doing something
for
right.
Everyone that actually shared it. Yeah, that was really nice from people.
Well done. That's great. Elvis, is there anything? Listen, these conversations are always too short. There was many more questions I wanted to ask you, but we just got to keep moving on with the show. Is there anything else you'd like to? Yeah. Is there anything else you'd like to finish off?
Thank you so much for the opportunity of having me here. And once again, I hope you guys like the song and keep going.
Keep on going. That's it. Elvis, my absolute pleasure, brother. Listen, take care. Best of luck with all of your ventures, and if you need any help with any promotion or any plug, just send me a message. Don't be a stranger. We're reconnected now finally. So such a pleasure to chat to you again, brother. Listen, take care. Have a good weekend.
Say the same to you. You too, man. Thank you so much for that. See ya.
Bye.
Shapes are twisting,
Wow. That was absolutely amazing, guys. We had the wonderful Elvis Bonesso with us just there. We had a lovely conversation to open up the show, and that was his most recent music video called Dream Song, and the band is called Stone Sea, guys. What did you think of that video? I thought that was absolutely astounding. Absolutely astounding, guys. I wasn't expecting that. I really wasn't expecting that. First time watching that. Saw the guys live many times. Listened to their EP last year, which they released last year, Mankind Maze, and this fantastic music video just released. Jesus, I'm trying to recover from it, right? Yeah, absolutely amazing. Nathan Mack, lovely. We got Tatiana Valls Perez, amazing. Yes, you are totally right. Guys, thanks so much for staying tuned in with our first wonderful guest. We have more guests. We have Nathan Mack joining us very shortly. We got our pick for the weekend now in a couple of minutes. Thanks so much for anybody that just tuned in. Do hit the subscribe button and hit that little bell there as well so you get notified every time I go live. It's going to be 3 times a week. We're only playing local music. And we're getting to know our local music scene as well. So please do give us a subscribe and give the video a like if you've been enjoying it so far. Much appreciated. It always helps spread out the video for recommendation if it gets enough likes. So it does help a lot. There's more information as well in the description of the video if you'd like to contribute more, or if you'd like to join the deMartian community group, which is on Facebook, and anybody is welcome to join. We usually post up discussions, polls, and you also get to get involved with the community and everybody else that's in it. It's a great community, guys, and yeah, bit of crack as always. Ding, yes, absolutely. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce Rebecca Cappuccini from Viking Promotions, of course. Gotta give that plug. And she is going to do the pick for the weekend. Oh, geez, I ran out of breath there almost. And yeah, let's get her in here. Let us get her in. Reza Rashidi, thanks for subscribing, brother. Glad to see you're watching. And yeah, thanks for the follow on Facebook. Hugsy McBean. Loving the name, brother. Rebecca Cappuccini, how's it going?
How are you guys? How is it up wherever you are here? It's actually quite a nice day. I was in the gardens all day today and I really enjoyed that. So I wanted a flower beside me to reflect the beauty of the flora, you know. So the pick of the weekend, I guess that's what I'm really here for, other than, you know, talking about flowers and nice things. Yeah, so Hammet by Niamh Regan. How did I find out about this? This is interesting because I think, you know, maybe I should start doing this. So this guy, Paddy Denny, told me about this artist called Niamh Regan, and I was like, okay, I'll listen to her. And then I heard a song and I was like, okay, this is really good. And then yesterday she released her whole album, which is called Hammet. It's 11 songs. It's 35 minutes and 55 seconds. It's incredible. It's emotional. It's balanced. It's a mixed journey, but it's very gentle and melodic and feminine. It's all about feelings in their many forms, and there's kind of different aspects of feeling. So it's not just one-sided stories. It's very interesting in how it's put. And the song I picked is actually probably one of the first songs of hers I fell in love with, because it was released before the album itself came out. So the song I picked is actually called How About That Coffee. The 2 other songs I really, really, truly enjoy from that album is She and Two Seagulls. Two Seagulls, actually, funny joke I have between me and another person about seagulls and how there's seagulls on Ballybricken, but Ballybricken means nothing to anyone in Dublin, so that's fine, really. But this song, How About That Coffee? So it's just a really nice song. It's gorgeous. It's asking and imploring to meet up with someone you haven't seen for a while for coffee. So I'm thinking this is exactly the type of song we should have for the weekend. You know, we should have a song that implores us all to be more grateful, to go for coffees. Pick up that phone after you hear this song and see how beautiful it is, and actually go for that weekly coffee with that friend you haven't connected with in a while, and just enjoy the happiness that's going on this weekend. So guys, thank you so much. Nathan Mack, you're sure to be very interesting, you evil genius. That last interview was brilliant. Guys, have a beautiful weekend and we'll see you soon.
Yeah.
How was your weekend?
How was yours?
Relaxing, I guess.
Thanks so much to Rebecca Cappuccini for that lovely pick for the weekend. That's Niamh Regan with her most recent album, Hemet, and we're going to be playing her song, How About That Coffee? So let me just set that up here, guys, for you.
How about that coffee? Well, maybe later. I fear you don't have time to kill anymore. And are you still singing and writing in the afternoons? Don't know if you know I'm married, having a baby soon. So how about that coffee? You tell me how you're really doing. I'm sure you've some stories you could tell. He said, call if you want to, write if you feel you, but never gonna really stay in time. No, we're never gonna fall back in love. He said, call if you want to, write if you feel you, but never gonna really stay in time. No, we're never really in love. So how about that coffee? Tell me how you're really doing. I heard your father pass, you didn't know whether to write or to call. Maggie left your brother, he's doing better than before. I follow you on every platform, I know a score. Just been wild busy, it's been like nothing before, nothing before. So how about that coffee? Well, maybe later. I feel we don't have time to care anymore. Just to care anymore. Care anymore.
Alright, so that was Niamh Regan with her most recent album release, Hemet. And that song you guys just heard there was called How About That Coffee. And Rebecca Cappuccini was doing our pick for the weekend. As always, absolutely fantastic, Rebecca. Thank you so much for, as always, putting on a great review of some amazing musicians. Nothing gets past you musically, Rebecca, and I absolutely love it. So do give her a follow as well on Instagram, Rebecca Cappuccini. It's like cappuccino, except it's Cappuccini. It's very, very similar spelling. Just change the O to the I. right? I think that's how it goes. And she's got a page called Viking Promotions, which is doing really, really well, promoting a lot of great local music as well, primarily based in Waterford, but she does go beyond that, quite far beyond that, and it's amazing. So yeah, Rebecca, well done, fair play to you guys. Thanks to Tatiana Valls Perez for the sub on YouTube, much appreciated. We got Elvis subbing to us as well, guys. Yeah, do click that sub button if you hadn't already. There's great stuff happening on this platform at the moment. If I would like to admit, great guests and great music. So please welcome our next and last guest. We're only doing 2 guests now per show. The wonderful Nathan Mack.
Hello. Oh, hello.
Greetings.
Hello. How you doing?
I'm great. How are you doing, brother? Long time no see.
Yeah, how you been, man?
Great. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. How are you keeping, man? You're keeping busy.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. My personal life got so in the way of this release. It's been crazy. We were going to move house. I was starting a new job. My arm fell off. I had a load of stuff to deal with.
My goodness. I mean, look, you've been releasing some great tunes lately. The last 2 were absolutely fantastic, I have to say, dude. I'll have to admit, I wasn't aware it was part of an EP, so I missed that memo. So I'm absolutely excited to know that you're releasing more tunes after this. How many more are we throwing in there? Are we doing 1 or 2 more?
So this is the weird part of it. It's not an EP. It's an album.
Ooh.
Kind of. So basically the way we're doing is because we're doing it song by song basis, we're not sure how many songs are going to be in the end product, but they will all be under the umbrella of Start of Something Blue.
Brilliant. That's actually a great idea. I kind of like that because it adds a bit of mystery. You don't know what you're going to get, and you're still running with the whole concept of obviously promoting each individual song accordingly on Spotify, which Spotify loves.
I know, it's great, but it's tailored to each so that all the songs will sort of share a sort of visual vibe. They're definitely sharing an audio vibe, but they're each going to have their own individual stories that I can then highlight with each promotion.
I love it, and you can see that with the graphics and I by the way, I just love the graphics. Like I love the graphics for Carolina with the drawing on the face and everything, and because you say draw me a smile. I'm totally paraphrasing and fecking up your lyrics here, so I do apologize. I have been listening to it. I'm just so bad. That's why I'm not a singer. But I love it. No, I genuinely love it. And Better Off Without You as well. I just can't get that song out of my head, so thanks very much for doing that.
Good. That's a good sign.
I just played it too many times, I think, as well on the stat. I think I must have played it like 6 to 8 times, so it was always my filler. If I couldn't think of anything, I was like, I might as well listen to that again.
That is being the filler is a very underrated position to be.
Yeah, I mean, well, you wear the spotlight for twice as well, by the way. So I can't keep having the spotlights. It's just they're going to be like, he's definitely the favorite.
Yeah, just turn it into the Nathan Mack show. That's all.
Yeah. We'll just give you a segment, dude. We gave Rebecca one. We gave Maximilian Foy one, dude. There's space here, for you. Come on, brother. Come on, bring some of that magic over here. What was the difference between releasing your first single, Better Off Without You, and then Carolina? Now, what's kind of the difference here for you?
So the first release was at the sort of start of lockdown, and I realized I'm on the couch now, so I'm gonna just
chill out. There you go. That's actually, you're right on the settee. So,
I realized that and I should be talking to you like this, shouldn't I?
No, it's the other way. Hold on, maybe I can flip you.
So it's like this.
Yes, exactly. That's where I am.
So yeah. So the start of the lockdown was when I released Better Off Without You, which was great because I had loads of time. I sat in my windowsill, the sun was coming in, I promoted the heck out of it. I did all this background work. This time around, my time has been limited, so I feel like I haven't given it as much as I really, really wanted to. That being said, the response has been better to this one. And I don't think it's a reflection of the song. I think it's a reflection of the fact that I've got 2 songs instead of 1. Beforehand, people didn't know who I was. Now they know me as the guy who did Better Off Without You. And so they want to give me a better chance this time around, I think.
Yeah, maybe that's actually a good way to do it, because you're not shoving it down their throat consistently. And the second song, because you've accumulated so many listens already. What are we at? 50, 60, 70,000? We're pretty high.
On Better Off Without You, yeah.
Yeah,
so
which
it's going well.
It's really well. Congratulations, by the way, on that. That was a very good marketing campaign that you set for yourself. I love the fact that you're staying within the color realm as well, like the blue and the black, and a bit of hint of red. Maybe I might be mixing it up a little bit, but I notice all this stuff. Like for me, this makes sense if I can notice and refer. You're using obviously the same producer.
Yes, Brian, myself and Brian.
Tell us a little bit about working with Brian, because I'd love to know, because it's just, you can totally hear. Anyway, go on, you tell me
mad.
first.
It's mad because like we met on the 3rd of January this year. So we haven't known each other that long at all. But as soon as I met him and we started working together, everything changed. I mean, you remember who I used to be, like the music I used to play and the style and everything about it. And even the quality, it's all just shot up since I've met him. Because he's got such a talent, and a really technical talent as well, that I just do not have. My God, I need to learn how to produce my own stuff. It's terrible. But no, so working with Brian is amazing, because when we first worked together, the one thing that we had in common was yes and. You know, the old sort of improv idea that you say like yes to whatever idea comes your way, and let's do this. And it means that all these ideas keep coming at us, even bad ones, and eventually the bad ones get left behind because the good ones keep coming and they stick. So that's the way we work. It's really, really nice. Things have been changing because he's been running out of time now that he's a family man. So it's been good. We've been working on songs over lockdown constantly.
It's amazing. Yeah, you're right. I definitely hear, like, obviously I've been following you on Instagram, and I've known you for quite a while as well, as being, you know, as an acoustic guitar writer. So there's a massive studio production that's going into these songs. You can hear these the patches and the tonalities and the style, which do resemble each other as well. You can hear sort of those same sort of tones, right, in the first one to your second song as well, which is really nice.
We should have that over the whole project. That's the goal. You know? It's
great. And even like the almost the structures feel almost the same as well. The little gaps, the I don't know if it's like a bridge you're doing, but where you kind of pause and then you come back in on the offbeat. I love it.
It's really interesting. So that's a characteristic of mine. I like offbeats.
Yeah.
It doesn't always work, but I love offbeats even when they don't work. Brian is great for that idea of the drop, of that sort of empty space and then the big explosion. Yeah. So it's really, really nice to have that now.
I love it for funny. like the I Need More Than 1,000 Days, right? So, something like, was that
100 days.
100 days, right? Sorry, not so many. Maybe the next song will be 1,000 days. We'll see. We'll see how
oh my God, I need to tell you. So the other day I got an email from the Extinction Rebellion, the Irish Extinction Rebellion, because I'm on their mailing list. Join their mailing list.
Cool.
And they have this campaign out now, which is 100 days, which was something to do with the government promising 100 days for climate action. And so I sent them a cheeky email and I was like, hey, I've got a song that says I need more than 100 days.
Brilliant.
Want to use my song for this?
Brilliant. That's how you hustle, man. How did it go? Did they write back to you?
They said they really loved the song and they'd stick it in anywhere they could.
Amazing.
They're lovely people.
Yeah, they are.
They are. Really, really
I follow them on, I'm in their group on Facebook. I don't think I'm on their mailing list yet.
Okay.
But
try their YouTube. They've been really active on their YouTube lately.
I have to check it out. You know, your song might pop up out of nowhere now. And, you cheeky fecker. I mean, I do the same. I'm the same, man. I just throw in like wherever I can and just make these random calls as well to people and just go, hey, by the way, I see you did this. And they're like, why are you ringing me? No, it's not.
No, and that's the weird hustle. It's the weird hustle. I remember that's the biggest advice I give to so many artists, because since the first release, since the success of that, a lot of artists have reached out and been like, hey, how did you do this? How could I do this? Can you help me with this? And I'm like, ask strangers for help. Ask strangers, just whatever. And even the weirdest people. Ask a book publisher, do you know anything about music? And they might have a really good contact for you.
Yeah, I wonder what it is. People, and we've spoken about this before. I'm sure with yourself, we've spoken. We had that conversation. We had a bit of a choppy experience our last chat on this show, which was kind of, I was still finding my feet and stuff like that. But we were talking about that, like I was with yourself, but with other musicians, it's a repeating sort of thing where it's just people are afraid. I don't know what it is. It's holding them back. Is it the way we're brought up? It's like, oh, do you know what I'm thinking actually? Sorry, before I let you say it, and maybe this will spring something. Is it to do with the Irish culture where Irish people don't feel like they don't want to bother people?
Right.
That's what we're talking about.
I think that might be it. So it's definitely the way we're raised. I think the sort of Irish, and I'd say to an extension British culture, is extremely polite. So we don't want to bother anybody. But I think another big thing is that we're not used to the digital world. Like if you walk up to a stranger in person and say, "Can you help me, please?" Getting rejected from that is terrifying. But if you send somebody an email, the worst thing they're going to do is not reply. And that's fine. That happens all the time.
Yeah, it's interesting. And I agree. I find that maybe people, like if you call people, I find it to be quite successful.
Yeah. But people don't expect it. That's the thing. People don't expect to be called. And so it breaks down their guard and they become much more open to things.
Yeah. And then I use an email as a second step because I tried to do email first step and it was kind of getting me sometimes like a tenth of the way, you know.
It's easier to ignore.
Absolutely.
It's easier to ignore.
It's like spam. Hit spam. There you go.
Yeah.
Bob's your uncle. Done. Forget about this person. He was weird anyway.
Do you ever think about how many spam folders you're in?
Do you know what? That's a terrifying thing to think about.
That'd be a horrible number to know, wouldn't it?
I'm not too bad. I don't think I'm too bad. You know, I don't think I'm as good as I think I could be as a spammer.
Yeah.
You know, I think I could be a much better with my spamming.
My mailing lists are hard. They are hard work, you know.
Do you do that? Do you have a mailing list?
I have a mailing list. You should sign up to it on my website, nathanmacmusic.com.
Here we go. I'm going to share that link in there.
I'm struggling with it because the internet website side of things, I'm really not ideal at dealing with right now. But I am working on it. I'm also working on the shop. I've got a little merch store that I'm trying to figure out the back end too.
Brilliant.
So many technical difficulties.
Which store are you using?
No, so it's through WordPress. I think it's called WooCommerce.
Oh, yeah.
It's a free one, which is really nice, but it's built into the website, so it's really handy.
Yeah, and what are you selling on it?
Well, I've got my beautiful greeting cards that I did with a local artist, where she took some of my lyrics, or we took some of my lyrics, and we paired them with an illustration that she drew for them. So they were originally done around Valentine's Day, but they're all based around the theme of love, and they're gorgeous illustrations there. So it's like a greeting card, you know?
Awesome. Yeah, that's great. What else do you have? Do you have any physical kind of copies of your music at the moment, or are you pushing it that way? I'm kind
of in the thinking that it's a waste of time to do that. Sorry to all the musicians and all the people who buy physical music. You're amazing people, but for me, it's really, really a waste of time. And it's unnecessary stuff that I don't really think we need to be producing into the world.
Like plastic and stuff, right?
Yeah, exactly. I want to make things that people are going to use and that people are going to enjoy using. So I want to do like a line of scarves, you know, with my logo on them.
That's nice. I wonder if you can make CDs out of hemp or vinyl out of hemp. That would be interesting.
Ooh, wait, no. For a second there, that sounded like it was possible.
Yeah, maybe. So what is the website? What?
nathanmacmusic.com.
Oh, .com, right. I was going for the IE. Great. I'm a .comer as well, actually.
Yes. And
like
David
.com.
Duggan, I am going to message you, please.
There we go. Yeah, Dave
Because
Duggan.
I will need help with WooCommerce.
There you go. Yeah, guys. So I posted into the chat. We got Stone Sea Music. If you want to give that Facebook a follow. So I put that in a little bit late. So Stone Sea. And we also got nathanmacmusic.com. Can people sign up to your newsletter on the website, right?
They can. It's actually at the very bottom of the page. You'll be able to see it down there at the bottom.
Great. Yeah. So sign up and throw Nathan your email and get spammed. Yay.
I'm working on not spamming. Actually, I've only sent like 2 or 3 emails. I'm due to send another one to my group.
It's difficult, man. I'm still working on that. I'm accumulating emails slowly, but it's kind of like you want to wait till you have a certain amount before you send that first one because...
Right. No, man, just send away. Send away.
Send away, you think?
Definitely, send away.
Maybe I will. Yeah. Oh, it's just so much stuff. Like, it's so much work. And
it is.
I like it. No, I do enjoy it. It's like juggling, right? And you know all about that. Here's my segue.
That's a good segue. Nice. It's like juggling.
We could have been talking about anything. Going to the toilet while texting. You know, it's just like juggling.
You know, it's a balancing act. That's all it
checking your subscriptions while how many subscriptions you get while on a number 2. It's just like juggling. It's crazy. But go on, tell us a little bit about and something I don't know if I asked you this before, about what got you into circus performing.
What got me into circus performing was an unhealthy competition with one of my best friends, and an overcompensation for my age. When I was about 11, my big brother / best friend at the time went off to college. And when he went off to college, he started joining the circus society and started practicing circus performance and juggling. And I was like, I'm better than him. I can do that. I can be just as good as he can, regardless of how much older he is than I am. And so I started. Oh, wait, was I? Yes. Yeah. And so I started I just threw myself into it completely. And I got so much better than him. So much better. He sucks.
So what happens afterwards? So you kept going.
I kept going. Yeah. So really, I started all through my teenage years. I kept going, and I stopped smoking weed at a very young age.
Fair play to you.
So I think I was about 12 years old when I stopped smoking weed.
What? What age did you start smoking weed?
I was 9. Fun
what?
Fact. Yeah.
Jesus.
I had older friends. It made sense back then, you know. But,
I didn't smoke my first joint till I was like 15, 16.
Yeah. No, it's a weird one, and it's funny. When I stopped smoking, I started drinking, and it was a whole thing. I had a very weird life, you know.
Yeah,
but
that's cool. That's cool. I wish I knew you back then. I would have had access to that stuff. I was looking for access for ages.
Yeah. No, it was fun. But what I did instead of smoking weed is I juggled, and I entertained my friends. And suddenly I noticed juggling fire was impressing the women. So all the ladies were like, "Oh, he's juggling fire!" And so I lapped up as much as I possibly could with juggling fire and performing, and I became the weirdest little player. I was a horrible teenager. I was horrible.
There isn't many great teenagers out there. You're allowed to be horrible as a teenager. That's absolute. I don't think I was great at all, actually, myself. I was pretty horrible too.
But that's how I then started getting work as a teenager as well. I started performing fire tricks at festivals and at parades and on stages, and I started getting paid. So I was getting girls and I was getting money. And I hadn't even left school yet, so
that's amazing. And you, when did you transition to music, and how did that sort of happen?
Oh, this it's mad because there's so much overlap. It's really beautiful. But my first time picking up a guitar, I would have been a kid. I wanted to be just like my uncle, and so I wanted to play guitar and sing like he did. But I started playing music with my friends at the age of about, I don't know, I'd say 16, 17. I started singing at parties because everybody else was too shy and I was the confident one. And I wasn't singing back then. I was just screaming, really. I only learned how to sing much later. But then we went through a whole spell of... It's like a songwriter cultural revolution in Swords that all sprung out from this one open mic night that started called the Chandelier Sessions.
Joey Gavin,
yes. Himself and Rob... Oh my God, why do I... Robert Maguire. Rob Maguire. I'm still working with Rob, so I should know his name. Rob Maguire as well. And that just caused an explosion of songwriters, me included. My first ever gig was the Chandelier Session.
Wow. Is it that... How many years has that... When did that start?
That started...
Would that have been 2008? 2009? 2010? No, maybe it's after.
2010.
2010, right? Okay.
Because I was about 18 when I had my first ever gig. Which is, oh my God, 10 years ago.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yes, 10 years technically playing music.
Way to feel old.
I know, right? It's good. It's good.
I feel grand about that.
I like old though. I like being old.
Well, I mean, look, you're not even 30 yet, so of course you like being old. Wait till you hit 40, then you'll be saying like, I'm 39.
39 plus.
Minus 16 months or whatever. Yeah. 39 plus makes more sense. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, no, that's great. So Swords has a great, like, had a great music community. I mean,
a great music community. Partially because there was just so much of us at that age. We had the largest demographic in Europe at the time.
So you were lucky to just be brought up at that time, I guess.
Super lucky. And there was a really beautiful, like, competition that was going on. with like bands like Carms. Those lads, the O'Loughlin brothers as songwriters and singers, were just amazing. There was Carl Cosgrove, who was always great. He's still making music. Joey Gavin as well. There was so many really lovely songwriters.
April
coming out of
Space.
Swords. April Space. Who's April Space?
Yeah,
Do you not
John
remember-
Trainer,
Ah, yes, John Trainer.
Warren Finn,
Oh, Warren, I haven't seen
and the
him in
boys. And who was their drummer?
years. Was Warren not the drummer?
No, Warren was I think he was the bassist, or he sings now fantastically.
Hey.
Warren Finn, because he didn't sing much before in April's.
But no, there was a great crowd there, and what was really nice was that Rob was very close to the Codaline lads, because we all grew up with them, you know. So they would come back, and they would bring with them other artists. So we got to see some really amazing artists up close and have really great chats with people. Like Orla Gartland used to come around all the time. Gavin James, who else? Chanel McGuinness. She used to come down all the time from Donegal. Some really great artists used to come by.
So Codaline are based.
They're from
Swords.
Swords.
They're
Yeah,
from
apart
Swords.
from their bassist, he's not from Swords, but the rest of the lads are. So I grew up skating with Vinny and Mark.
That's mental. Do you think that had an influence, like a big influence? Do you think big musicians come from? I guess they would, right? If they say they come from whatever, I don't know, U2, wherever they're
deal.
from.
Big deal. Because here's the thing, right? A lot of people complain about national pride, things like that. Things like, why would you be proud of being Irish? That's so stupid. You just got lucky being born somewhere. But when you know that somebody who had a life similar to yours can do something great, it proves to you that you have it in you. That's where that pride comes from. So would I say I'm proud to be from Swords? Of course, it's a great place. And everybody who comes from that place, we have a weird vibe to us. We're very over-socialized. But now seeing how great Codaline have done, and knowing that they went to the same school I did, that lets me see I can do that. There's a clear line that connects us, you know?
Yeah, that's actually a good point. I suppose that the issue with that is like, okay, so one feels related to it, but then also the odds of it happening.
Yeah,
you know,
I mean,
like
true.
3 bands, 5 bands, 6 bands from Swords to get as big as Codaline. I mean, no, it absolutely it is, but it's...
Here's the thing, and I think it's... Brian Eno talks about this. I could be misquoting him as somebody else. He says, genius doesn't exist without a scene. So he actually calls it scenius. And you find it that when it comes to the great movements in music, it's not just individuals from particular towns. It's a scene, like the Seattle grunge scene. It's a whole area where this amazing music is coming from. So the fact that the Codaline lads came from a scene in Swords means that, like myself, comes from that same scene. The lads in Carms, they come from that scene as well.
What do you think about...
Brian Eno was from Swords.
Dave says he's a scanger.
Yeah. I'm able to see the chat as well. Swords is not a kip, and if it is, it's because I left.
Defend it, brother. Yes. What do you think about the Dublin music scene then? I mean, we're talking a bit of an expanded community, but quite a tightly knit community too. And what's kind of your opinion of it after
The Dublin
gigging around?
music scene is a weird one, and it's hard to talk about because I'll be completely honest and say that I know so little about it. It's actually quite big, and it's hard to know everybody in the Dublin music scene. Like, I know almost nobody in the hip hop scene, and that thing is going crazy at the moment. There's so many amazing artists coming out of that scene. And like the singer-songwriter scene is probably something I'm more familiar with. But again, so from what I do know, which is not an awful lot of the Dublin music scene, it is probably lacking in ambition. That's the one thing I've noticed.
Do you think it's that lack of ambition overspills into other places though too? So it's not just music. Do you think it's, once again, sorry Irish people, coming from a Polish immigrant, so it's all G. But do you think there's lack of sort of entrepreneurship and innovation and stuff like that? Is it because we're hard on each other?
No,
do you think it's linked to that?
I don't think it's a lack of innovation or entrepreneurship. I think we're amazing. And I know we're amazing. It just feels like we don't take ourselves seriously enough. And we have this weird, we've got this weird problem in Ireland that we can't reach the whole world. For so long, Irish artists had to go to England if they wanted to make it. And that's still kind of true, but it doesn't have to be anymore because of the internet now. We can make it in our own country all around the world. But still we have this mentality of I need to go somewhere bigger. Like we need to go to the LAs and the New Yorks and the Berlin. Like there's so many artists are going to Berlin at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah, our friend Joey's there as well at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
And London, of course. Yeah, so many different places. You know, I've had these conversations before as well I had one with an entrepreneur who said that, you know, we also tend to beat each other down a little bit. You know, we like as well as not taking it perhaps serious. There's also that kind of that deprecation, I guess, if that's the right way to put it. But also perhaps the system itself. I wonder. You know,
I mean, well,
there is
so
problems there too, right?
And actually, just before I go any further, I would actually mention that a lot of Irish artists are now starting to take themselves seriously. And there are some sort of institutions like Rubyworks. Rubyworks is an amazing example. That's a label that's taking Irish artists seriously and exporting them, getting them out of Ireland and around the world, which is what we're not doing anymore. But I was actually chatting to the Anderson group. Do you know, have you heard of Anderson?
No.
They've got this app, which is like an A&R streamlining app. Really nice. Check them out. But I was chatting to them one day, and we were talking about this very thing, like what the Irish music scene is like and what it's lacking. And he very bluntly just said, the Irish market is so small that no labels are willing to invest into it. And he's so basically saying, we don't have the investment like London would, or like the States would, or even like Germany would.
Right.
Artists don't get signed here. They don't get worked on. They don't get sort of tutored and mentored and guided along. They're sort of just left to do what they want until they leave for somewhere more serious.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, as well, because there's so much music too, right? So yeah, I don't know. It is extremely complicated. I mean, we could look into the psychology of it and how the system is placed. All I can say is the quality is there for sure.
Yes, that's the thing.
It's just about, I don't know, there's perhaps not enough incentives put in play. We can see after this lockdown as well how artists are sort of left a little bit to the side. And I guess, I don't know, for whatever reasoning, I'm not going to get, you know, emotional about it or annoyed or anything. It's just, I guess that's the way it is. You know, that's how priorities are put in play. There needs to be priorities. They put artists at the end of it during pandemics. Now we know, you know, they got to take care of other things. So fine, you know, for whatever reason, I'm not necessarily, it's a different conversation, I guess, but it's interesting. I'm really interested to sort of dig into what is the solution. What can we do, you know, to make it sort of work.
I think it's changing gradually as the demographics changes. I think one of the big thing I've noticed from talking to people and going to like IMRO events and seeing the panels and talking to some of the younger people who are up and coming in the industry, like on the actual management and label side of things, our music establishment is very safe. They're very comfortable and they aren't willing to go crazy and take risks and shake things up. And that means that the people who are there and on top and have the way in, they're fine. They're going to be there. They can keep going. Yeah. So the Villagers, the Blizzards, the Coronas, the established artists, they're grand. They can just keep going. But the up and coming artists have to fight and have to scrap just for that bit of attention from people in the industry. You know?
Yeah, and I suppose it goes back to that hustle, right? And that sort of those cold calls, and that sort of, you know, just jumping out of your comfort zone, and maybe it's not a, you know, it's that business mindset too, which not everybody is sort of, you know, I don't say born with, but because you don't get born with that, but just like is used to. Yeah, adapted to, right.
But but that's the thing. So, man, I'm being critical from every point here now.
I say, man, it's all G. Like it's,
but you know, as a message to artists, is that you need to prove that you're reliable and you need to prove that you're worth something to them. Because again, they're in the business. If you're not ready to be exploited, you're useless to people above you. So you need to make sure that you are marketable, I guess is probably the biggest tip that I was ever given. Yeah,
and there is that sort of fight, isn't there, between, you know, being marketable and obviously being true to oneself, and there is that middle ground. I think
you can do both. I think you can easily do both. You know,
I think so too. I think as well, obviously, you could do well, let's just talk about length of songs, right? Just because it's the easiest way to sort of break it down. And there's so many other ingredients to make sort of a marketable song, but easiest to speak about is length, because obviously we know that radio needs to edit it down for attention spans, right? I suppose, and probably other reasons that I'm not aware of. But you could still have that on your album, right? And you could release your singles the way you would on Spotify, or you could release a music video that's longer than your release on Spotify. So there is many ways to kind of still be yourself and be marketable. You just have to be a little bit, perhaps let go of certain principles, perhaps too, right? We can be a little bit stuck on our own principles and go, no, I just want to create my shit, feck everybody else. I'm creating music for me. And it's like...
Well, that's the thing. So this is a really important thing, because I see this attitude a lot. The people who make music for them, the people who have the biggest problems when it comes to artists are people who make for themselves. They're the ones who complain so much. They're the ones who say that everything's wrong. They're the ones who are like, why does nobody care? And it's because you're not giving people anything. Like, I came to terms with that years ago. I was like, I need to make my songs shorter, not just to get them on the radio, but because that's what people want. And I need to give people what they want, because I'm offering a service. Imagine you created a product and you said, I don't care if people like this. That's a terrible way to do it, So you need to make people cry, and you need to make people happy, and you need to make people dance, but you need to do it in a way that they want, not the way you want, So that's,
One more thing I want to say, and then we can move on from this. Not for good, because we're going to keep talking about this and bringing it back. And thanks for contributing a little bit there into the chat, guys. We got Claire Nolan saying, so true. It makes it... Yeah, so true. And it makes it difficult not to feel like you're competing with everyone else. But I fully believe musicians uniting and coming together and knowing our own value is the way forward. Lindsay, I agree with Claire. Support each other once it's strong. Strong once others will follow.
Actually, funny enough, right? Just to say to Claire,
yeah,
I think you should feel like you're competing with everybody else, but that shouldn't be a bad thing. Competition is not a bad thing. It can be really sweet. I compete with some of my best friends all the time, and it's fun.
You're just naturally competitive. Obviously, our conversation, you started doing juggling or circus stuff because not everybody's like that.
Yeah, true.
I definitely compete with myself yesterday. Like, I'm trying to be the better me. To be honest,
but is it a bad thing if you lose to yourself? Is it a bad thing?
No, and I know what you're trying to get at. Like, is in like I don't see good and bad either. As in, I don't see good and bad. I just see, like, obviously a lesson or something to learn from.
You like
I don't know. I don't feel good and bad. No, I think it's a construct. I think it's a construct, and in my opinion, like my perception. I'm not saying that is exactly how life is, because I am God and I listen to me, Nathan. I'm telling you, yes, I'm telling you what is right and wrong, and it doesn't exist. Neither.
No, I get what you mean. I get
you know what I mean. I'm not trying to sound like airy fairy and go, even though I might, and go like, oh, everything's a lesson and stuff. But it's just literally what I have trained myself to believe, and go, okay. Even though I might get frustrated, right? There might be an emotion involved and whatnot. But ultimately, in my heart, I just say to myself, great. I need to learn from this shit. I need to sort. Something is askew. That's what I say.
Definitely.
Something is askew from that belief. But there's nothing wrong with competing with others too, though, I have to say. There is
supportive competition, and healthy competition is something that I think a lot of musicians in Dublin really need help with.
Yeah. Now, not everybody is competitive as well. You might have that sort of mentality. I think it's just a mentality. I mean, it's
also a reality, though. I mean, to be really blunt, there are only a limited set of spaces on a lineup.
True.
Not everybody can get them, and you are going to have to compete to get those spots. It's just making sure that when you don't get the spot, and I don't get the spot 90% of the time, you're okay with that, and you accept that, and you talk about it, and that maybe your friend gets the spot instead of you, and then maybe you chat about it. You say, well, what did you do differently? Why did they pick you? And then you find loads of reasons out.
But maybe the point is then is to be sort of open to lose, open to win, and also not to hate people or get annoyed if somebody gets ahead of you, and to have a conversation with them. Like, you know, you have like sports stars, let's say, compete because it's in sports. You have to compete. There's no point having sports if you're not competing, right? It's going to be pretty boring. But they talk to each other. They slag each other sometimes for the crack, you know, or they learn from each other as well. They say, here, how did you do that? That was deadly. What's the story here? Or, you're such a prick. I can't believe you won that one. But fair enough anyway. We'll get you next year. And that's healthy. Like the communication, you know, instead of getting in a huff. And I kind of get it. I get it. I get where we're getting at. I was gonna say something else with regard to sort of this whole thing, but I kind of lost myself, which is good. This is how it should be. The chat's going crazy. I love it.
I know. I'm taking a look at it now.
Fantastic. So,
yeah,
what was
so
great in the
actually
industry?
that's a funny thing that David is saying about everybody moving up together. Is really, really great. It's really lovely. Is that when the music industry and the music scene comes together, it does better and people want to enjoy it more, and therefore it gets bigger. When Hozier goes on a world tour, he's promoting Irish music, and
He's
we
putting
all
attention
benefit.
on Ireland, right?
You know? It's really lovely. But it's nice when he then brings an Irish artist to support every once in a while. That's a really beautiful thing as well.
Yeah, that's
So it'd be nice to
interesting.
see more people do that.
And you know, I'm interested the way, David, you're only isolating 2004 to 2007. That'd be interesting. I mean, I don't know what music was like at that during those times, because I'm not as old as you. So you big old man, yeah. But no, it's interesting to sort of know, like, and what's changed. You know, have we sort of distanced ourselves more? I wonder. But also, there's amazing schools out all the same as well, like BIM, of course, where we met Nathan, right? So it's interesting to know where it's going, but definitely, like you're saying, like it's society and us as people that are pushing it in a particular way around the system, and I feel like it's possibly going. The way I'm speaking to people and what people are telling me, it feels like it's still going in a good direction amongst all this sort of you know uncertainties and this whole complaining against Spotify and complaints against censorship and all this kind of stuff. I feel that there's still hope, not hope, I don't like that word, but there's still shit gonna happen. Good shit's gonna happen. Let's put it down. Let's just slap it down bluntly.
I don't know. I find that the more and more I'm hearing about it, the more critical people are becoming as a whole. Seems to be doing better. It means that's the sort of seriousness that we're taking. We're saying, no, let's be really clear and careful with this, and let's, I guess, complain in the right way.
Yeah, and the Irish love complaining. I love complaining. It's fantastic. Letting it all out. Anthony McManus, thanks for tuning in, Anto, by the way. It's great having you here with us. For the first time in my life, I'm not being competitive with my music, and people like this stuff more than anything else I've ever done. So there we go.
It's interesting. But that's really interesting, because that's in a creative way. And so to compete creatively isn't always the best way to do it. Definitely.
Yeah. Dave says the reason I isolated that time is when myself, Blue Sun and other bands around the Garage Lands days, if we met, would take share numbers and set up gigs and find bands that can't get a break. I mean, look, I did that when with not with yourself, Dave. Now, I didn't do it with Future Fears. I did it with Blue Sun. We did it with Common Wolf. We did it with April Space. We did it with Joey Gavin. We did it in so many times. And it was myself essentially kind of spearheading that little sort of freak out that we were doing in the check-in. Now, granted, I didn't have great connections, and I was
that was a great gig. That was a great gig for so many people.
And there was a lot I learned from that as well. But I guess
he became the Crystal Skulls as well. That sort of grew into a much bigger thing.
Yeah.
And I every time I talk about you, people are like, "Oh yeah, Crystal Skulls. Oh yeah,
Crystal Skull
love that
guy.
thing." Yeah.
Yeah. Jesus, those are. I miss it.
But it's really interesting, and it's something that I talk about as well, because like the way I'm very controlling with my own stuff. So I will put on my own gigs, and I will take control over the venue, over the production of everything, over all of this kind of stuff. And I always make it a point to reach a hand down for somebody who hasn't had enough experience or isn't getting the work, and then reaching a hand up for somebody who's much more better and organized than I am. And so I'm learning every time I do a show from somebody, but I'm also giving this other person a chance to do some work and get some experience and learn that way.
Absolutely. I see that. I see similar traits between us as well. Like, I definitely love to run like things particularly my way. I think leadership is important, you know, when one has those qualities, because somebody does need to make that final decision, and you're also representing yourself, your company, and everybody else. So there is a big responsibility with that, and if you're happy to take that on board, which you obviously are, so I am in the same way, you know, as maybe Dave is quite, I'd see you kind of, Dave, similar to that, of course, because you're running your own business for many years as well, and you know, there's risk involved with these kind of things.
Getting clicky, that's interesting about the clickiness of the Irish music scene. Have you run into any clicks in Ireland?
I mean, BIM is like one big massive click, right?
Yeah, it is. I was gonna say it's not, because I know some really great BIM people who aren't clicky. But in general, because when I went to BIM, it is kind of clicky.
Okay, so it's not one big massive click. I was exaggerating there, but it it does have a tendency to. Which, okay, I get. I mean, I don't know. Like, for me, I used to be in cliques when I was obviously younger, and we all do that, and or have done it. I don't know. For me, I don't see it anymore. Like, I've just kind of removed myself from from caring, or you know what I mean?
You're doing your own thing, so you probably don't have to worry about it. You probably don't come up against it that often. I do notice it. So there's like a few different like nights, open mics, particular gigs, particular production companies, and it seems like they just have their group and they're doing their thing. But to me, that's fair. Like, I know it's not ideal for somebody on the outside, but it's fair. You know, I mean, think of it this way. If you want to do a project, who do you think of first? You don't think of the strangers out there that you don't know. You think of the people you do know. The problem is when you start giving people who are unqualified the position. But in general, if I have a particular thing, if I have a circus performance that I need to do, I'm going to go back to my friend Sev, because me and her work brilliantly together. We always work together as well. And if I have the chance, I'll reach out to somebody else. But in general, I'll be playing it safe, because I need to make money from my show.
Yeah. I mean, I'd be the same with the deMars Entertainment gigs. You know, I would hire musicians that I have worked with already before that are reliable, and but I still have space to accumulate more connections. So I'm always open to bringing in new people. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. You know, and for me, obviously, I'm working on a level of trying to keep. Let's say, okay, on the cover band sector, you know, there is a standard that needs to be adhered to, because I'm, you know, it's working with businesses, you know what I mean? There's no messing about. That's that. But then there's also, the independent local sort of music promotion and stuff like that. I generally don't have I don't bat an eyelid at anybody that wants to come onto this show or sends me the music. So it's nice I have that allowance to come in.
It's like a little avenue for people to get in, which is really lovely. It's funny because I think clicks are going to happen, but we have things that offset them. You know,
same with Crystal Skulls, kind of. You know, I don't mean to be talking about my own shit, because we're talking about you here, brother. But I love the discussion. But you know, that as well. Never cared. Just throw on 6 bands per night, and whoever wants to come in and play for 15, 20 minutes, like, just, it doesn't really matter. And the clicks you do notice, like, some bring big groups of people, and some bring like just themselves, and you know, and one or two, which never really matters to me, you know, ultimately, you know, because it always ends up being a great night. You do see kind of the clicky thing, but eventually people do start to warm up to each other and mix and mingle a little bit. It's hard to break that ice.
Again, it
but
goes
the weirdness
back to this,
brings people together.
It goes back to a weird, I don't want to approach these people because they're working. You know, like, so I'll be sitting there at a gig and I'll say on stage, come up, chat with me afterwards, it's no problem. I'll sit there and I'll see people be afraid to come up and chat and sit with me. It'll happen every once in a while, which is lovely to see. And it's something that I always say, especially at every interview I do, is like, if you're watching this, send me a message, ask me a question. I am open all the time to people just DMing me, and I get back to everybody I can. And some people do, and it's really lovely.
Yeah, I mean, you have I've noted, like, you have a great community on Instagram. So you're clearly interactive. You're clearly, respecting your community. You're kind to them, and you respect. I notice how you're operating. It's great, and that's I'm learning from people like yourself, because you've been doing it for a bit longer than me. Sort of that community building aspect. I think that's a huge thing, especially as an artist, is actually building that community,
it's hard. It feels
respecting each
impossible.
and every and respecting each and every person. Of course, it's not just a number. Your follower is not just like a number there. It's a person
I
with
don't
emotions.
know, man. If I have any anti-maskers following me, they can unfollow me. I don't care.
Oh, you're not one of those people, are you?
I'm not
For
dealing with
God's
any
sake.
anti-maskers, okay? I'm not dealing with that.
Do you know what? I don't like people like saying unfollow me. It's just like, come on, man.
Nah, it's not literal. It's a message, That's how I'm taking my stance.
Who thinks Nathan's just trying to cover himself up here because I caught him out?
You call me out.
I
Put
caught
me
him
on
out.
blast. Is that what you do now?
No, I'm just like, look, go on.
No,
Anyway,
it's fair. And I'm more involved is to sit down and talk with people like that. But what I mean is that, like, I wouldn't get populist with my social media. Like, I won't people please with social media.
no, that's fine. Yeah. But look, I mean, are you going political now on us? Like, what are you trying? Are you taking the higher ground? You know what I mean? Are you like, oh, if my followers believe in something, no, I don't.
Well,
it's like
here's
they're
the
here for
problem
your
with
music,
politics.
man.
Yeah, this is the problem with politics. I nearly became a politician instead of becoming a musician about 5 years ago, 6 years ago. And I made the conscious choice, the selfish choice, I say, to not be a politician and to become a musician. That was my selfish choice. It was the thing I wanted to do. But recently, man, the politics is creeping back, and it's there. And I keep ending up in these discussions of, is it right for an artist to use their platform politically? If your followers are there for music, then why are you getting political all of a sudden?
Mm-hmm.
And that's a battle. That's a real battle.
It's a tricky one. It is.
Yeah.
I get it. For me, it's just, I can't get myself to fall into that energetic trap. And I don't even know if I'm talking serious. Like, just that emotion that everybody is now kind of feeling.
Right.
Yes. And it's like a trend. We're having trends happening, and I'm not going to go into too much detail.
I wouldn't say it's a trend. I'd say it's a symptom.
Mm-hmm.
We're all stuck at home. We've got so much built up energy.
Okay,
And
that
it's being
actually,
unleashed,
that pretty much makes a lot of sense. Like, it really does. So for me, like, I can't get into it. I'm reading people's posts, right? And they're saying, like, unfriend me if you did this, unfriend me if you did that. Yeah. And I get it. Like, I get, like,
their frustration.
I get the frustration, but then I get kind of frustrated at reading that, going like, not that I am like an anti-mask or anything like that, but it's just like, dude,
it's the
like,
attitude.
It's like shit. Or it's like, I'm gonna punch everybody in the face who went into that protest. And I was like, why are you inciting violence? Even though, like, these people might like be actually like, they have a frame of mind that's just very different. They're getting news from different sources than the left. Yeah. Right, or whatever direction we want to talk about here, diagonal, east, north, south, east, west, etheric, earth. Yeah. I mean, do you know what I mean? So it's like, clearly, and obviously the algorithms are set as well, that like I'm getting different YouTube video recommendations than you. If I type in Trump into Google, you're going to get something different if you type in Trump. So it's like, of course, people are boxed into like different beliefs and somehow more radical than others, right?
But it's that problem that you're saying is that people shut that off then. They don't talk.
There's no more discussion. There's no... Dude, I can't find any... Like, please, I mean, somebody wrote to me saying, oh, there's a Spotify discussion somewhere, or you can find my roommate. Send me it, please. I want to hear people discussing, like, on a normal level. Like, not like, you're a jerk, get out of the studio, I hate you. You're killing my grandfather by doing something what you're doing. And it's like, he's not. He has just a completely different belief than you because he feels he's been duped, and you feel you've been duped by that side, and that side's been duped. We've been duping each other.
Do you know what it goes back to, right? There are no bad people. That's my philosophy. There's just no bad people. Either people are trying to help and doing it in a way you disagree with, or people are scared, or they're sick, or they're afraid of something. So greedy people are afraid of not having enough. They're not bad people.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm a big fan of education first.
I love it. And I like to think as well that it goes down to just two basic things. You either do something out of love or you do it out of fear.
Yeah.
Bam.
Okay, nice.
Keep it simple.
Yeah.
Keep it
Speaking of
simple.
which, actually, I was having to think about it today, and I was reconnecting with why I wanted to be a musician in the first place. And it was out of love, of course, you know. I mean, there's a lot of fear in that as well. I need money, so that's why I chose music instead of circus. But
There's no
what
money
I-
in circus.
there's oh my god, there's no money in circus.
That's such a
There's
shame.
none. Yeah, there's a lot more in music in the long term. In the long term, but then I realized that like songwriters, we give people words, which sounds weird. Poets and writers in general, journalists especially, we give people words and phrases and metaphors that they then use to express themselves and talk about what's happening in their lives or inside them or in their heads. And that's beautiful. That's really, we never think about the language that we use was given to us by someone. Like the word anxiety didn't always exist. Somebody gave us that word, and now we can use it to express how we feel. You know? And that takes us such a pressure off our chest to be able to talk about it. So that's what I ended up with, that conclusion, going back to it.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, I want to say envious, but I do. Maybe I am a little envious. That I can't get myself to write lyrics. You know, I just can't open up that part of myself. I
You
think
write
it
other
is.
music. Like this is the thing. So I'm not putting lyrics higher. Like there's melodies that make me want to cry. That's beautiful. There's rhythms that make me want to dance. It's all on that par. We're basically, I think what I'm trying to say is that we are giving people a thing that they need and use and love. You know?
And I wonder, does it go back to, is there a responsibility, right?
Yeah.
With what we give, I wonder, is
Exactly,
there? And also it's like, okay, but you're expressing yourself. It's all quite linked, isn't it? We're all kind
Yeah.
of like, and also then going to what's marketable as well on top of everything else.
Yes.
Oh God, I
This
love
is why
it.
we have to navigate so much, but it's why the music industry is just so big, and it's why now the digital era is the best ever. People say that this is the worst time to be. It's the best time to be a musician. You can do anything you want. You can be anybody, and there's probably a place you can fit. You know, like the market for instrumental music has just shot up. Think of lo-fi. That would
Yes.
never have existed in the 70s because it wouldn't have made any money. But now it makes money. Weirdly enough, you know?
Yeah, totally
real
right.
sweet.
Guys, you hear it here from Nathan Mack. We're having this lovely discussion. I love where we're going with it all. We're just going back. It's like a catch up, and we're just having
Yeah.
we're just having a chat on a Saturday evening. All we're missing is a glass of vino. But I'm loving the fact that you know we get to sort of cover so much ground in these conversations. Guys, give Nathan Mack a follow on Instagram, Nathan Mack Music, and that's correct, right? It's Nathan Mack
That's it,
Music is
Nathan
your
Mack
Instagram
Music.
handle.
Yeah.
Do give him a follow. That's his main social media platform.
Even the website, because everything else will be from there. You can get to the Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, all of it.
There we go. I was just about to mention that, which I've. He's doing my job for me. Look, we're finishing each other's sentences, isn't it lovely? So the link is, if you just scroll up, you should be able to find the link. I think I'll just post it again.
Tell you what, you know what? Look, I got your back, man. I got your back.
Are you gonna do it? Look at
Wait, where
this.
is it?
It's
Where is
making
it?
my work so much easier for me here.
There we go. Look
Welcome
at
to the Nathan Mack Show, everybody.
this. Boom. There we are.
All right, Dave Duggan, this is great. Keep going. Lol. Thanks, Dave, for the all the confidence as always.
That's it. It's the support you need, man.
Anto has some news. Anto's out of wine. Sorry to hear, man. No news.
Thank you, Anthony. Anthony, I wanted to say finishing each other's sandwiches. That's an Arrested Development fan. That's what that is.
Oh, really? Oh, see, I don't. Yeah, I did. I wouldn't
Watch
have gotten
Arrested
that.
Development. It's a great show.
Okay, I will. I'll try it. I'm watching Keeping It Up with the Kardashians now. Do you ever watch that?
What do you? Why? Why?
Because I just need something brain
You
dead
watching it?
to finish up my day. I'm working so hard. I'm up at 9 a.m. I
Do you know what
finish
I
at
do?
9 p.m. So I need to just turn my brain into mush before I go to sleep.
I have a problem like this as well. So what I do instead of Kardashians, I've been taking a lecture from Yale, a free one on YouTube, a lecture on Yale about power and politics.
Dude, that's way too much
That's
brain stuff.
my brain shut off. That's
That I don't know how that's if your brain shuts off. I don't know. I mean, if you're absorbing that information subconsciously, fair play to you.
Yeah, man.
That's
No,
pretty
I'm
amazing.
actually actively listening to it, which sucks for my sleep patterns, but it's really great for my political debating. I tell
But
you.
no, that's amazing. Like that's lunchtime listening for me. You know what I mean? Like I'm all for educating through YouTube. It's brilliant. But like 9 p.m. 10 p.m. I mean, I can't read a book anymore in the evenings. I just can't get myself to do it. It's probably a bad habit. But I love just putting something on, like some shitty reality TV show now and then, and just go like, okay, turn off brain. Let me absorb this filth, this horrible shit. It's terrible.
Can I ask, how did you end up choosing the Kardashians?
Because it's horrible. It's Netflix. They just suggested it. I was like, oh, what's this? I never watched it. People were do you know what? Okay, here's the truth.
Alan Watts is great before sleep. Did you see what David has just said?
I've listened to everything by Alan Watts. I think.
Is lovely,
yeah, I used to just listen to. I have everything by Alan Watts. I have 40 gigabytes of Alan Watts. It's called it's all his lectures. It's all his radio shows. It's all his lectures. It's his workshops. It's his books, audio books. And I'm so sorry, Alan, Mr. Watts, like for torrenting.
He doesn't need it.
Sorry for torrenting all your shit, man. But 40 gigs was hard to resist.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
And I have it all on an MP3 if anybody wants a bit of that.
That's amazing.
It's brilliant. Yeah, it's all at my fingertips. I listen to so much of that stuff. But what does interest me is the psychology behind why do people watch reality TV?
Yes.
What makes these people watchable in pop culture? And that's actually what fascinates me most. That's why I'll give time to it. I'll actually analyze it and absorb it and say, what's going on in the person's mind, in these teenagers, in these kids, that makes them so fascinated about someone's life? Or someone that's not necessarily a great person. I mean, they're not the worst people.
But you know what I love about this? I love it how we can take that information and translate it into the music industry. So I've been looking at a lot of political campaigns and looking at the similarities in a political campaign or an advertisement campaign that goes into a single release and a music release. And so now I'm trying to take sort of weird, like there's things like campaign slogans and even just the badge for certain things. And there's these kind of like one-to-ones that you do in like political campaigning that is perfect for the music industry. So I'm now starting to look a broader term of what to do for promotions and things. And it's been really nice. It's been giving me the edge on other musicians.
It's all psychological, man.
Yeah.
As you know, it's how people. Why would somebody give you their
Social
time now?
engineering,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. I mean, because we're now talking about seconds of attention spans.
It's
like
crazy.
6 seconds or something, which is mad.
We interrupt advertising.
Yeah, so by the way, on this topic, guys, thanks so much to our 10 watching right now on YouTube that are attentive to what we're talking about. And we've spiked up to about 15 today, which is absolutely deadly. Like, thanks so much for staying tuned in and enjoying our conversations with Nathan Mack here. And of course, we had
Do check me out on
wonderful Elvis.
YouTube as well. While you're
Check
here.
him out on YouTube. Look at this. He doesn't even give me a word in before he
Subscribe me,
starts
there we
self-promoting. Like, he doesn't even let me promote him. He's
It's
just like, no,
interruptions.
I'm in control. As always, like Nathan Mack loves to be in control. Here we go. Amazing. We got the wonderful Michael Arbeiter. Great chat. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Do give the video a like, and if you are first time viewing, do give us a subscribe as well, and slap that bell there as well, of course, to be informed. And that goes for saying, of course, Nathan Mack, he already said it, but I want to say it, right? Check out his YouTube channel. He's got some great stuff there. He's got the lyric video he's got a video. No, he has a lyric video, a moving lyric video. It's really nice. It's him doing in a shadow form, doing hand gestures. And there's lyrics come up for Better Off Without You, which is a really nice video. Really great idea for a lyric video, by the way. And he's also got it's not a lyric video, right? For Carolina yet.
This new one is a time lapse of the artistic process. So the actual artist, she documented her process of creating the single art image. And so it's a video of how she developed it over time.
I haven't seen it yet.
It's
Brilliant.
really
I have to
beautiful.
check it out. And Dave says it's a porn video.
I've actually got something similar, David. But that's for my, what is it?
That's his OnlyFans.
That's my OnlyFans.
That's so funny. What does he say? Or finishing each other off as well. Finishing each other's sentences. Back to that one. Oh, Dave, I love having you in the chat, man. This is just so good. All right. So should we?
That sounds like such a euphemism, doesn't it?
No, that's
Let me take out my OnlyFans handle. Oh, damn, this is not going to get monetized, by the way.
it wasn't anyway from the beginning. Do you know what? They pay you nothing. They pay you nothing.
They pay you nothing. You know who pays the most for streams? Napster.
Napster, is it?
Napster is a thing.
What a turn of events. That is crazy.
Right? They're the ones giving artists money now.
That's mental. That's so cool. I love that.
Right?
I want to get someone to write an article on that. That needs to be heard. I didn't know about this.
That's an interesting one.
That's great. So are we going to start an OnlyFans, like separate? What are we going to do? We should
definitely, but we should do like a rivalry of OnlyFans. You know, this marketing thing where we like
this
have beef with each other.
Actually, that could
start
actually
a beef.
Work.
Yeah, people love beef.
Patreon as well. I heard Dave saying Patreon. I heard there's still a couple of ifs and buts about Patreon at the moment. I think people are, there's some, I don't know. Keith informs me about all these things because he's very much into sort of these kind of systems, social media systems, and also these kind of payment systems too. We're going to be working on a project together once again, but he's saying something to do Patreon. We're still not sure about its stability for the future, so I'm holding off a little bit. There is a PayPal tip link in the description though, which I've just been sticking to for now, and PayPal has its issues and stuff like that as well. But if you want to I'd love what I'm planning to do is to purchase merch from artists, or if any artists, Nathan Mack, want to contribute any merch as well. I want to do a monthly hamper like for people. So we're actually spreading out local music. That's like really sweet. Through physical stuff. So I don't know. I'm still trying to figure this all out. Do you want to
try? You could try wholesaling from artists that you know, and then use your website to sell their stuff. Make a little tiny profit off of it as well. Instead
of these other companies that we use in the middle. Yeah, it's just a lot of work, man. Like you're saying, you know what I mean? It's so much, and I have to.
But if you're doing it for one person, you may as well do it for more people. Or if you're doing it for yourself, you have the capacity to do it for others as well.
Yeah, if you have the template. You can just add extra things in.
That's what I'm doing with my label at the moment, because I started a label to release my own stuff, so I've been using that as a template. So now I can bring other artists through the same path I just took.
What's the name of your label?
Pennywish Recordings.
Oh, of course, no, because that's very sweet.
Isn't it? It's heartwarming.
Look at you with the sweet front, you know. But we're all really competitive. Pennywish competitiveness.
No, here's the thing: the competitiveness is sweet. I will share all my secrets with anyone who asks.
That's lovely. Well, there you go, guys. Yeah. You've heard it here. Dave says you could use your own members section on your site if you have WordPress. You have WordPess, do you? Did you say you have WordPress? Yeah.
I do.
Okay, so there you go. Maybe just talk to Dave after this. Dave Duggan. Yeah. He knows all the ins and outs about this stuff. You can with Squarespace as well. Happy days, because I'm on Squarespace myself, so that would be great. Cool. Do you want to play a song? What should we do?
Yeah,
we're talking so much.
Let's do it.
Let's do a tune ski. Right. I'm going to give you the stage.
Is there a particular one you want, or will
Well, you asked on your Instagram, you gave your fans a question and you asked them what song should they perform. Did anyone get back to you?
Yes, they did. So I've got a few requests from the Instagram. If anybody is here in the comment section. Oh, I should gesture down to this side because I'm reversed, haven't
I? Yeah. I mean, you're on a stage now. You're on a stage.
I'm on a stage?
Yeah. You're a special guest. It says tonight's...
I like that.
Now my Streamlabs actually froze. Oh, there we go. It's working.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Is that sounding okay?
Yeah, there's a few people in the bar as well. It's a little bit of noise. So, guys, can everybody in the crowd please keep it down here for Nathan, please? Thank you very much.
I miss being on a stage. Okay. This song is called Deirdre of the Sorrows. And it's a song that is written from the point of view of Deirdre's lover, Nisha. And it's an amazing, epic Irish story. If you ever get the chance to read Deirdre of the Sorrows, please do. It's about a young woman who is forced to marry a king. She runs away with a young lover, but they're captured. Her lover's killed. She's forced to marry the king, and then she kills herself. So it's pretty miserable. But it's a beautiful, beautiful story. had a vision of blood in the snow, a black little crow. You were 16 years old, with the heart of a soldier and the face of a queen. You were kept away from the world as a wife for a jealous king, and you broke free to find the one you love. Back then, everything was good enough, but sorrow catches up no matter what you do. Oh, Deirdre, they took everything from you. Deirdre, they took everything from you. The ends of the earth until they left you alone. Something stirred in your souls. It said that Ireland was your home. So you fought until your lover died. Now they control your life, but that's something you could take if you tried. And you broke free to find the one you love. But back then, everything was good enough. But sorrow catches up no matter what you do. Oh, Deirdre, they took everything, and sorrow catches up no matter what you do. Deirdre, they took everything from you. Deirdre, they took everything from you. How are we sounding, right? Okay.
Sorry, guys. Okay, guys, hold off the round of applause, please. That was too long. That was too long. Yeah, we're working with new sounds today. Beautiful. Yeah, no, it sounded great. Yeah, amazing. From through your speakers, it's or through your microphone, it's fantastic. That's awesome. So I mean, you obviously from you worked in a leprechaun museum, right? So you gained a lot of knowledge from that, right? So you gained a lot of lore and things like that.
Yeah. So there was so much in Irish folklore that I really loved, and it was surprisingly modern. The humor, the attitudes, what I would say as well is that it was great for cherry picking. So if you're telling a story, you can change the meaning of that story just by which parts of it you focus on. Like which beats you tell changes everything. Mm-hmm. You can tell Deirdre of the Sorrows where she's the bad guy, and you can tell it when she's the good guy. You can tell it where she's not even that important in the story at all. It's really interesting, you know? So as far as how to tell a story, it was really, really useful.
Awesome. That's great. Guys, let me know, is the sound okay there? Just let me know. Dave's saying that the claps are on repeat. I hope they're not just playing over Nathan's voice there. Let me know if everything's okay, if you can hear us loud and clear. This is the problem. When you start improving little bits, there's more risk involved that shit won't work. So please be my producers, guys. Let me know if you can hear us okay. I don't know. Nobody's writing back, so maybe nobody can hear us right now.
No, they say it's going well. It's going well.
Oh, is it? Okay. Yeah. I'm not getting updates on this. It's so crazy. Anyway, beautiful. I guess while you're up on the stage, do you want to play another song for us?
Yeah, I'll go for it. I'll tell you what, right? I've been in collaboration with a few people these days, and Thornton Pianos and I have been working very closely together on some really great stuff. So we have a song. We've recorded an acoustic version of "Better Off Without You," and we've recorded the video to it and everything. And we're gonna have that released very, very soon. So I've been actually working on my acoustic performances of it.
Brilliant.
And like "Better Off Without You," I sort of had this nichey, almost joke-like thing where I would play it with one hand. I'm now getting better at piano, so I'm able to do it with two hands. Kind of.
Oh, fantastic. That's
So I'll
great.
give that one a go.
Here we go.
This is called "Better Off Without You," and if you haven't heard it, follow me on Spotify or subscribe to me on YouTube, and it's both up there.
Jeez, you better have heard it, guys. I've played it. You aren't tuning into the show if you haven't heard
played
it.
it so much.
Jesus.
So this is the acoustic version of "Better Off Without You." There's nothing left to run away from. But if there was, my empty words could pave the way. Your sweaty fingers try to hold my mental state. So look away, would you please look away? Look away, would you please look away? And your eyes are melting on my face, yeah. Because my mind heats up when I stay awake too late. I feel ashamed because I broke a smile today. Look away, would you please look away? Look away, would you please look away? Oh, I'm keeping my tongue tied up, cause these dangerous words betray me, and my mind changes and nothing I say keeps you away. I'm keeping my tongue tied down as every little word fills my mouth. Hey, I feel like I'm drowning. Do you feel like you're drowning? Cause I feel like we're drowning, yeah. Oh, I need more than 100 days. You meant more to me than music, yeah, more to me than faith. And I'm still fighting to escape the truth. But no, I don't wanna be better off without you. I don't wanna be better off without you. And in the moments I relapse, the ecosystem in my mind starts to collapse, and I get smoky eyes when I set fire to your face. That's a look away, would you please look away? Yeah, look away, would you please look away? And no, I may have chosen this pain, but nobody told me that boring was easier. No, I don't wanna talk, cause the thoughts are taking the meaning away. Don't take it away from me. I'm keeping my tongue tied up, cause these dangerous words betray me, and my mind changes and nothing I say keeps you away. I'm keeping my tongue tied down as every little word fills my mouth. Hey, I feel like I'm drowning. Do you feel like you're drowning? Cause I feel like we're drowning, yeah. Oh, I need more than 100 days. You meant more to me than music, yeah, more to me than faith. And I'm still fighting to escape the truth. But no, I don't wanna be better off without you. I don't wanna be better off without you. I don't wanna be oh you without you. I don't wanna be oh you without you, eh. Oh. I don't wanna, ooh. And what do I know of letting go? unconsoled. 'Cause without you I get to be somebody new.
Absolutely fabulous, and it's still so catchy, and the lyrics are so catchy standalone with just one instrument. Like that's a good sign, right? If you can still kind of just bop your head and just get into it, which I love doing because my head's like a bobbity head at times. Really fun song, fun arrangements. The lyrics are great, and I know it has that, obviously the lyrics are a little bit sad coming from a sad story, right? But
Yes.
for some
But it's a happy sad. This is the thing. The song is weird because it's in a good way. It's sad for a good reason.
Yeah, absolutely. So I kind of get it now. Like you're really you like to juxtapose these two things.
What was it?
A
Somebody
lot.
said to me the other day. It was the perfect quote. She said, "Nathan, you're a writer of complete indecision."
Wow.
And she meant that as a compliment, as in like my songs are always about being one way and feeling the other, or feeling a certain way and having another moment, and all these sort of pushes and pulls. Because we all need conflict to make things interesting.
Yeah, I guess we are in a world of polarities as well, right? So we're made to feel all these emotions. Perhaps some people block that certain the opposite emotion because they feel like they shouldn't be experiencing it, which is unhealthy, I suppose, right? So you're getting the full spectrum, which not many people
in 3 minutes.
in 3 minutes, and commercially viable, of course. Once again, fantastic.
No, honestly, that's the thing. Even in my bio, I think I probably sent you my bio at a certain point. I do say that. I say that I try to use the appeal of pop music to sort of insert philosophies and consolations in my songs, just because it's not a very niche group of people that deserve philosophy and consolation. It's the majority of people deserve it. So I'm trying to do that,
Yeah, and you're not being obvious because that can be a deterrent, because obviously people feel like that they're being there's something is pushed on them. So it's a very good way, very smart way to do it, man. Listen, it's been an absolute pleasure, Nathan, to catch up with you. We could talk for so much longer. Best of luck with Carolina's release, man. Keep pushing it, keep pushing that song. Guys, if you hadn't listened to Carolina yet, this is Nathan's second release ever. Right, this is your second official release. Definitely check it out on Spotify. There is information on it anyway on Nathan Mack's website, which I just reshared again there. And Megan Escoff, welcome to the show. I hope you're enjoying it. And Brew, what's the story? Okay, fair play. What's the crack, Brew? Guys, give us a follow, give us a sub if you hadn't already, and give the video a like. We're just finishing up our conversation here with the wonderful Nathan Mack, and we just had two lovely performances as well. So do give the stream a sub so you don't miss the next one. You can come on earlier. We're at 6 o'clock Saturday, Tuesdays and Thursdays. Nathan, absolute pleasure, brother, to catch up with you.
Thank you again.
Is there anything else you'd like to close off with, or anything you want to guide people towards? If I might
anything
have
I want
missed?
to guide people towards, I mean, honestly, if you want to see where I'm most active, is Instagram, really. But honestly, one thing I'd really love is for people to just listen to the song, have a read of the lyrics, and see if it resonates with you. And if it does, send me a message, because that's the kind of thing I need right now. Amongst all the emails, I need somebody to just say, hey, I really connected with this. That did feel good.
Bless you. Well, there you go. If that's not something really sweet, it's definitely a really good marketing tactic by the... No, I'm only kidding. No,
both.
the app, it can be, absolutely. No, the wonderfully genuine and very kind soul that is Nathan Mack. Dude, it's an absolute pleasure to touch base with you and just connect with you once more. It's been long overdue, brother. Listen, have a wonderful weekend. Best of luck once again with your recent release, and let's stay in touch a little bit more often.
Yeah, definitely. And goodbye, everybody. Thank you for tuning
brother.
in.
See you later, man.
See you, man.
Bye. All right, guys, that was the fantastic Nathan Mack, guys. Give him a follow on Instagram, as he mentioned, Nathan Mack Music. And he's also, obviously, on Spotify, his most recent song, Carolina. was released just this Friday. Give that song some love, guys. What an absolutely awesome conversation we had. It almost turned into a podcast style convo. We went on a little bit longer. I knew this would happen, so that's why I wanted to have Nathan on towards the end, because there was so much we covered. So cheers for the chat, for contributing and talking to us and giving you your opinion. That moment was actually brilliant, where we were talking about the Irish music scene. I think that was a really, really good segment today. So look, lads, it's all a big working system at the moment, so fair play to you for getting involved, to all of yous. So yeah, once again, welcome anybody that just joined in. You're more than welcome to subscribe and get involved with the conversations in the future. We had the wonderful Elvis Bonesso from Stone Sea as well, so give them a follow. We just listened to we watched his music video, which was an unbelievable 7-minute song. It was just fantastic music video, a lot of work put into that, so definitely check him out through Stone Sea on Facebook. Brew, what's the story, man? Hope you're keeping well, dude. Thanks for tuning into the stream. Finally, where were you this whole time, huh? Where were you? So welcome. I'm not streaming anymore on Facebook, guys, so the only place you can find this show now is on YouTube. I'm not even throwing it up on Twitch. Tuesday shows are on Twitch. So that concludes the end of our show. Yes, Brew, I did say your name right. Andai. There we go. I pronounced it correctly. You'd swear I didn't know you, brother. Good to see you, though. I hope you're keeping well. Thank you, genuinely. Thank you for tuning in. Yeah, guys, listen, take it easy. Have a great Saturday night. You know, thanks for chilling out with us this evening, giving us your time. Lovely, 12 watching at the end of the stream. That's flipping amazing. I don't know if you guys want me to close off with a song or something. Is there anything you want to finish off with? I can play a tune. I can play a random tune. Do you know what? I'm gonna just. I did mention I was gonna play a song actually. So hold on a second, right? Since we got 12 people watching, we're gonna keep going. We're gonna give you some more local music just to close off the show and get us in the weekend spirit. And it's going to be by a project. You know what? No, I'm gonna play a song by Omanoko, a band that I just realized existed this week. Right, I have to give these guys a shout out. I played their song yesterday or on Thursday, and I need to share this around again because I think they're fantastic. I really enjoyed their last two releases this year was Arrow and Emerald. I wasn't even planning on doing this, but I really want you guys to hear this. Alright, so check it out. If you haven't heard it yet, check these guys, Omanoko, and this is their latest release called Arrow. Yeah, we can do a lightning round. If one of you guys want to hop on Zoom and do a lightning round with me, I'll do it.
Settled in, not quite. I'm burning from the inside out now. And like an arrow, I'll be wavering through to a plane that's filled with colder light.
Thank you, Michael, for the follow.
Tell me how you feel, boy. Are you trying? Tell me, what do you feel inside? Burn the hand. Oh, Fiona, save me from myself and spare the drama that echoes in me. I don't care what the people see. of time. It grounds me now to wonder. And through the waves of wire, across the valley of attrition, I know that soon I'll find a way. So tell me how you feel, boy. Are you trying? Tell me, what do you feel inside? Burn the hand. Oceana, save me from myself and spare the drama that echoes in me. And I don't care what the people say, they never understood me anyway. Oceana, save me from myself. And I don't care what the people say, they never understood me anyway. Oceana, save me from myself.
All right, that's Amanoko. There you go. That's their Spotify there, guys, and that's their song Arrow. Really love that song, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Give them a follow. I've added them to the recent playlist I put up as well. If you're not following that playlist, guys, by the way, it's right there, Irish music scene, and I'm just constantly updating it. So there's loads of tracks there, and I'm constantly, as you can see, like 14 Days, 9, blah blah blah. And we added 3 there. We added Carolina as well. And anybody that's releasing music, obviously just send me a message. And yeah, there's 118 songs there. So some of them are a bit older, so I do have to take them up. I'm literally updating it as often as possible. So yeah, of course, if anybody has a recent release, definitely looking forward to, speaking of Brew and Dave releasing stuff, I'm really looking forward to that new music video for New Direction. Brew, let me know as soon as that is coming out. Really can't wait. So this is a good collaboration. What's the story? Is anybody hopping on Zoom? Because I'll finish up. I don't know what else to give you. This show is going on 45 minutes longer than it should. I've shortened it, but you guys are still on, which is awesome. So I mean, look, people are watching. I'm happy to stay on for a little bit. I'll do a lightning round if anybody wants to hop on. So Brew, I don't know if Brew wants to hop on. I haven't seen him in the chat saying anything recently, so there is that link there, guys, so you're welcome to click that link. Brew, yeah, if you want to hop on that Zoom, I'll send the link in again. Anybody's welcome to just hop on that Zoom. I'm just going to do a lightning round with you, a bit of crack, bit of vibage, and yeah, you're more than welcome to just have a bit of fun with us. Okay, so Anto, you want more music? Guys, I'm going to play music. I suppose I'll just play more music, right? So I'm going to play something by Fia Moon, and she released a song back in July called XX. Oh, we got Kevin on. Deadly. Kevin, give me, after this song, I'm just going to hop off to the jacks, and then we'll get Kevin on. Brew, if you want to hop on your iPhone 6, do it, and we'll do a lightning round as well. Kevin, we'll get you on first, okay? So give me a second.
I just wanna come back home, lying here at night, I don't wanna be alone. And I used to want me loving on my body. I can't get you off my mind, got these feelings that I cannot hide. You know, I've been staying up all night, contemplating all the reasons why. You are my ex, my ex. Wish I could have saved us, 'cause you know I crave you. Every time I cry, I just wanna come back home. Lying here at night, I don't wanna be alone. How do you still want me loving on my body? I can't get you off my mind. Got these feelings that I cannot hide. You know I've been staying up all night, contemplating all the reasons why. You were my ex, my you were my ex, my I can't get you off my mind. Got these feelings that I cannot hide. You know I've been staying up all night, contemplating all the reasons why. I can't get you off my mind. Got these feelings that I cannot hide. You know I've been staying up all night, contemplating all the reasons why. You were my ex, my you were my ex, my
All right, so that was Fia Moon with XX, and yeah, we got Kevin Laurier who's going to hop on the lightning round with us. Fair play to you, Kevin. I'm going to slap you in here now with us. And yeah, Keto, screw Facebook, do the YouTubes. Yeah, I'm no more Facebook. No more Facebook. It's only being streamed on the YouTubes now. I was a little bit worried. I was worried I wasn't going to be able to reach anybody. But luckily we were able to actually keep a really good maintained viewership and really cool comment interaction. And the reach seems pretty good on YouTube. So success. No more, officially no more Facebook. And yeah, it's a good idea, Dave. I might actually do the clips on Facebook. Like short little 3-minute, 5-minute stuff just to accumulate more on the YouTubes. But YouTube is a winner. It's the winner so far. So good to see you, Keto, by the way, in the chat. Thanks for joining in. Brew, yeah, you're going to hop on that Zoom as well, man. Come on, don't be shy. I know you're the shy one. But click that link there, man. I sent the link into the page. You just scroll up and hop into the Zoom chat with me there. We can have a little catch up. So give a big welcome to Kevin Laurier, one of the most regular people on the show, which is just fantastic that we have so many great people. Kevin, what's the story? If you want to just turn off the video there so you can't hear me, as in the video you're listening to, and then I think we're good.
Just did that. How's it going, Dave?
Legend. How's it going, brother? Please welcome Kevin Laurier to deMars Live. What's the story, man?
Hey, everyone. Well, I just wanted to have a nice chat with you. I mean, it's been a while since we haven't been able to speak in person, so might as well have a chat. Yeah.
Sounds great, man. Yeah, perfect. Why not? It's a Saturday evening. I don't know what direction I'm gonna take. This, like I said, the show should have ended about 50 minutes ago. And hold on a second, I just change your name. I just changed your name there on the bottom. But sure, feck it. If we've got 9 people watching, and people want to get involved in this, happy days. Let's just keep going. What's the harm anyway? I can always just cut the end if I need to. Sure. No offense, good. No, listen. How are you keeping, man? How's things with you?
Well, I've been doing quite well lately, to be honest. I've had more energy than I've had earlier in my life. I think. Amazing. Yeah. Well, I've been studying a bit of ancient Greek lately. I've been looking into Latin as well.
That's mental.
Yeah.
How is it? Is it difficult?
Well, for me, it's not that much because I already know modern Greek relatively well, so it's just a matter of taking the language you know already and kind of digging into the past.
Mm-hmm. And what about the? Do you think you'll eventually be able to translate the Dead Sea Scrolls?
Well, I'm hoping so. I'm hoping to work on some AI programs someday that could help to do that.
Brilliant. Right. So me and Kevin, just in case you guys don't know Kevin, what he gets up to, before I get distracted here, Kevin is a linguist and he's interested in coding, right? So you want to combine, and correct me if I'm wrong, or elaborate on things that I say very shortly, but this is just my understanding from our conversation. He wants to combine both via AI, essentially. And Kevin, tell me what's next.
Well, what I would like to do essentially is to use current AI technologies to find patterns in languages as a whole, and not just the ancient ones. But essentially, I think there's repeating patterns in all languages across the world, because ultimately we're all human. So if we can find these underlying psychological tendencies that lead to the construction of languages, then we could find some patterns by studying civilizations, studying the history of how they've evolved, how they developed agriculture, for example, maybe correlating the local the vegetation or the local animals with how words evolved in the local languages, and use that to extrapolate how the languages of the past might have evolved into the ones we speak today.
How do you feel it can benefit for, let's say, the future development as a humanity, and what do you see sort of for the future if from something like this?
Well, I'm not so interested in the future as in studying the past for its own sake. But for the future, I could imagine that if we understand how languages evolve, then we could potentially be able to communicate to future generations messages that we wouldn't want to be forgotten. We could even try to communicate with the alien species if they ever come to find our recordings, for example.
Okay. What do you think are the odds of us meeting an alien? What are we talking odds wise?
Well, what are the odds of us having already encountered aliens but not even knowing about it,
or not being told about it? Right.
Well, exactly. I mean, either I think that the governments definitely might not want to tell us about the aliens if they had contact with them, and it gives them an advantage over all of us.
What do you think? Do you think there's greys amongst us?
Well, I mean, I've seen theories according to which what we call aliens might actually have developed among humans, or might be hybrids, or I've read all kinds of different theories. In fact, there's an author who's really interested in aliens, who's a musician like you, and I'd love to introduce you to him someday.
Awesome. Oh, that's great. So I can actually meet him physically, and we can have a chat. He's welcome to come onto the show, by the way, Kevin. Anybody that you know, because I know you know a good few great musicians as well, you know, that we have done gigs with and stuff. So I do appreciate you sending me anybody my way. I'm trying to think of some questions to ask you in the lightning round. I'm just preparing a set of questions for you as well. That might be just a little bit silly or whatever, but it's a bit of crack. Tell us a little bit more about sort of yourself. You're saying you're feeling good, you're feeling better than you ever had. Are you doing anything different? What are you up to?
Well, I would say that I've been working a lot on myself from a spiritual / psychological perspective. I think there's a lot of overlap between the two. except that psychology would be a bit more defined scientifically and in terms of vocabulary. But I've also I've also detached myself from a very toxic friendship that took a lot of energy from me. And but I've on one hand I've learned a lot from that experience, and on the other hand, not only have I liberated the energy from figuring out many things about my social experiences in the past, but but that's in addition to having this energy for myself to be able to do other things and projects.
Amazing. Well, fair play to you, and I'm delighted to see you in a good state of mind, and you're feeling good and optimistic, and you're able to find something that works for you. You're able to move away from toxicity, which can be a very difficult thing to do. And there's so many toxic things in our lives, like toxic relationships, toxic habits, toxic jobs, toxic surroundings, toxic behaviors, these kind of things, that we sometimes don't realize how big of an impact it has on us. And then once that goes away, you're kind of like, oh wow, I put up with that for so long. That's crazy, isn't it? How long we actually allow ourselves to go put up with something, right? We're quite resilient beings, right? To be able to put up with shit, and then you realize, oh fuck, okay, I should have just let that go for so long.
Well, I think our resilience comes from our ability to learn from our mistakes. I mean, that's the whole point behind AI in a way. Maybe it's us creating AI in our image. I don't know.
That's interesting. You're really pushing towards the AI concept, as in you're thinking that that's going to give us all the answers. Do you reckon?
Well, I see AI as a tool, and I think in the interest of humanity, we should keep seeing AI as a tool rather than letting AI become our gods. I mean, there's theories according to which that's exactly what happened to the alien species that are now trying to predate upon us.
Are trying to which?
To predate upon the human species,
in a predator fashion.
Yes.
Predatory fashion. Okay. So what do you think about the whole Anunnaki and Nibiru stuff? Are we talking about that kind of stuff? Are we talking about greys? What are we talking about?
Well, it's I can't say I'm an expert on aliens. I would have to let my other friend take over the conversation on that. But I understand that my understanding is that there's been certain species of aliens that have tried to dominate humanity using maybe mythology. That's just a theory from
mythology. What's mythology? I don't understand that.
Well, there's Greek mythology. There's Roman psychology. There's of course the ancient Babylonian mythologies. Essentially, the polytheistic religions, where allegedly they would have been those. Those celestial sky wars and that sort of thing. I can't vouch for whether that's true or not, but if it would make sense that if the ancients did believe in that sort of stuff, and we don't have such a superstitious mindset now, then what makes us think that the ancients were just a bunch of superstitious rubes? What makes us more intelligent than the ancients, other than having acquired experience over the millennia?
I love that you're bringing this up, because I totally agree with you with the fact that we do tend to we seem to be put in a state of mind that we belittle the ancients. We don't value them as much as we think we're more intelligent than them, or we don't give them enough justice, Yet you see these amazing monuments that were built, these amazing texts and mathematics and logic and even astronomy, for example, and they had like very little technology to depend on. So perhaps it was just the technology that was different, but their mental states of mind were perhaps more intelligent, because they didn't have technology to rely on. Plus, they didn't have television, right? So I always like to think that the sky was their television, that they were watching the skies and they obviously were able to absorb more. There was less light pollution, right? So they were able to see more in the skies, understand perhaps the world itself a little bit better, because we are a little bit more detached from the world, right? Currently.
Well, there's something kind of contradictory between the way that the ancients invented their wisdom in the form of philosophy, and yet they were the peoples who were using other humans, aka slaves, in order to build those grandiose monuments. So,
Allegedly.
Allegedly, but is it possible that those aliens would have, in some way, imparted these sophisticated pyramidal means of social and emotional control in order to create that pyramidal structure to get humans to do the bidding of these alleged alien overlords?
Well, I heard somewhere that like the Nephilim designed humans for gold extraction on the planet and stuff. Here's some crazy stuff that's like almost sort of like, oh shite, I hope I'm not that, because obviously that sort of demeans the human race a little bit, doesn't it?
Well, why would they use humans if they could if we're able to create robots after millennia? I think there must be some greater purpose other than extracting gold, if that's what they were doing.
Yeah, like for sure. And the fact that we are dabbling with stem cells and cloning and all this kind of stuff. It's funny. Remember the time when, and we'll just finish up on this because I know we could talk about for so long, but the cloning of the sheep. Remember, it was such a big thing, like only 15 years ago, maybe a little bit more, where it was like there was this scandal. It's like, no, we can't allow to clone the sheep because that's just going to change the whole way. You know, it's unethical. It's not the way life works. And then all of a sudden, like, you don't really hear anything else about it, and all of a sudden we are cloning things, but it's just not being really publicized anymore. It's not a big deal anymore. Like, stem cells are kind of normal now at this stage almost, right? Things are becoming sort of introduced. They're first rejected and as unethical, and then all of a sudden, I don't know, they seem to like trickle into normality. What do you think?
Well, what they pretty much do is that they rewrite the rules of philosophy to make more and more things acceptable to the population. As you say, it's a trickle down thing. The people, the thinkers at the top of the pyramid would create their motivations, things that would pass muster along the lower rung of the pyramid, and they in turn would create propaganda that would trickle down to the lower levels of the pyramid, and that's how they introduce things that would have been morally abominable centuries ago.
That's how they got the Lisbon Treaty back in Ireland. You know, they just painted it under a different picture. And that's probably how they bring in a lot of things that people originally, are against. And then they obviously, are just introduced, repainted differently, or subtly, subconsciously sort of added in as a normality. Kevin, deadly conversations, man. We could chat forever about this. Guys, this is Kevin here with me, Kevin Laurier, and what an awesome chat we're kind of getting into here. We usually have these chats in Chennai in the smoking area over a bit of vino, and it's nice to kind of get back and doing that again. Kevin, are you ready for the lightning round?
Sure.
Let's do it. Answer as quickly as you can. No worries if you can skip a question. What do you think is the best language in the world?
Chinese.
What's the heaviest object in the universe?
The sun.
What's your most favorite country in the world?
Greece.
What's the friendliest species of aliens?
The Nordics.
What's your favorite instrument? Musical.
The guitar.
Would you want to learn the guitar? If you could be good at any instrument, which would it be? Would it be the guitar as well?
I would like to learn it, yes.
What's your favorite music venue?
Chennai.
What's the most useless talent that you have? That's always a hard one. You can skip it.
Ancient languages.
What's the best ancient culture?
The best ancient Greek culture.
What's your favorite conspiracy?
The aliens.
Who
and
invented?
9/11. And 9/11.
I love it. I love it. That's so good. Who invented hummus?
Who invented hummus?
Yeah.
That would be the Palestinians, I think.
Yes. Love it. Great finish. Amazing. You redeemed yourself at the end. You started off strong. Middle cut you off a little bit with the I don't know, one of the useless talent one is a very difficult one. So that cut you off, but you redeemed yourself nice and strong in the end with that hummus answer. Kevin, listen, it's been an absolute pleasure, man. Do not be shy to come onto the show once again. Obviously you're not, because you braved this one. Fair play to you, brother. Listen, have a great weekend. Let's touch base during the week.
Have a lovely weekend, all of you. Bye, Dave.
See you, brother. Pleasure to see you. Bye.
Right.
All right, guys. We had the awesome Kevin Laurier here with us. Oh, that's the wrong one. That's me talking. All right, so we got Brew in the waiting room. Are we ready for Brew, guys? Who's hanging on? Do we have some people still watching? Great, we have 6 watching. That's amazing. Dave's chatting away in the thing. What are we saying? He's a Pleiadian. One benefit of being an alien is having a long finger with a bulb on the end. Oh, God. Just YouTube hidden history. You will eventually come across the Joe Rogan interview where they say that there were ancient technology, but it can't. Yeah, you know what? I actually do like to think that the world is older than they say it is as well. Like, as in there was possibly cataclysms that happened that destroyed previous civilizations that were advanced as well. But anyway, there's loads of stuff. There's loads of stuff you can read, check out on YouTube. It is a deep rabbit hole that is worth exploring. It really is. It really is, guys. Anyway, we're getting into this conversations. I love it. So great. Thanks, Kevin, for coming on and introducing us to something different. All right, please welcome the wonderful Brew. There he is. There he is. Brew.
Hey, can you see me?
Yeah.